Good morning to all of you. Morning, Anju ma'am.
Hello, Professor Rana. How are you?
Hi, Professor. I'm good. Good morning, and good morning to all. I really hope that everyone is safe, doing well, and good to see you, Professor, after a decade, even more than that.
Yeah, more than a decade.
Yeah, it's exactly 12 years, and still
we should be
amazing
thankful to
you.
the technology
Yeah,
that even in
absolutely.
during this pandemic, we are able to meet.
True, true.
So
How are the
we'll
things
start
today?
within next 3-4 minutes.
Sure, sure, not an issue.
Next 3-4
Good
minutes.
morning.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Hi, good morning, ma'am.
How are you, sir?
So far, so good. Thank you.
Okay,
And
sir.
I really hope that all of you, like your families, are safe.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Got vaccinated, Professor?
Pardon, sir.
I'm asking to Professor Khurana that got
Oh,
vaccination.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Long way back.
Oh, wonderful,
In the
wonderful.
month of April itself.
Oh, great, great. Like I was also got vaccinated in January and then in March. Like my second dose was in March.
First dose was in March, and then
Mhm.
second dose was in April.
Okay, great,
And
great.
yesterday only my elder daughter has been vaccinated.
That's good.
Only the younger one is left because
Mhm.
she is below 18. So she has to wait
Okay.
for the vaccine to roll out
Yeah,
in the market first.
absolutely,
So we hope so
absolutely.
that in the month of October or November, it will be
Mhm.
available for the kids as well.
Okay, okay. How is like your department doing for the students? You are taking students through CAT or you're having your own
No.
entrance?
We used to conduct our own entrance test.
Okay, okay.
Our own entrance test, and roughly we used to get 5 to 6 times the number of applications every year,
Oh, that's good.
and only on the basis of entrance test
Hmm.
we used to take the admissions. This year we are going to start another program, that is MPO.
Ah, that's
We are
good.
already running MBA 2-year program,
Uh-huh.
MBA 2-year program, dual degree, BB MBA program, and now we are going to start this
MCOM.
MCOM. We have another innovative program that is Masters in Hospital
Oh,
Administration.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really good.
That is meant for the health professionals.
Oh, health professionals.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Okay, I'll
And
tell you that my
every I have seen your universities into the field of this medical sciences.
medical sciences, we're one of the very famous university for medical sciences,
So
and
we would
we have
definitely like to take your help in our this
oh,
MHA program.
yes, and the college that I'm in, we are a college of healthcare management and economics. So we are highly specialized in healthcare business. So simply, it is the business of healthcare industry, medical institutions, and the allied institutions, whether it is medical tourism, wellness, and happiness, and insurance. So we closely work with all these allied sectors. So it is not only medical institutions or the doctors that we are limited to, but nursing administration to hospital administration to
So how long you
medical
are
insurances.
there?
Okay, well, I started working a little ago, but due to pandemic was at my home. Then this year, during the new year, I floor here and started sitting from office and working here.
And currently you are in UAE or in Delhi itself?
No. I'm in UAE now.
UAE only.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So 80 participants have come up. Registration are more than 200. So we'll wait for
Ah,
another 2 minutes, then we'll start.
sure, not an issue.
Because our vice chancellor has agreed to come at 10:15. So we are waiting for our vice chancellor, then we will start.
No issue.
और डिसेबल कर रखा है मेरे लिए.
Good morning, Professor Sudhir.
Hi, good morning, sir. How are you?
Hello.
Hi.
Fine, sir. Fine. Hi.
Great. Good to see you again. I'm
Yes.
not able to see you yet, but good to hear you.
Just, I am starting my camera, sir.
Yeah. And I think all the participants should at least keep their cameras on.
Yes.
Pardon me for saying this, but otherwise it seems like you have certain names on screen, but you can't see them.
All the participants kindly switch on your cameras. All the participants kindly switch on your cameras.
This way, at least we can navigate to each other's home.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Dr. Sudhir, would you like to say something in the inaugural session?
Well, I don't mind, and I don't have anything specific also. Like your program is more
Because-
about disruptive innovation and
Yeah,
innovation.
because your entire, we have kept one complete session
Yes.
immediately after this inaugural.
Sure, not an issue. Maybe
Okay.
I can just draw a dot and then connect the dot in the session.
Thank you. Dr. Aarti, जैसे ही सर आए, please start. As and when VC sir join.
And sir, just waiting for Chitrarekha madam and registrar sir.
रजिस्ट्रार सर से बात हुई?
Not yet, sir.
मैडम
Just try to
रेखा,
contact.
मैडम काबरे has joined. The name is Parvesh Kumar.
Okay. Good morning, ma'am. Good
Madam,
morning.
please rename yourself.
Good morning.
You have
Ma'am,
entered with
rename
the name as
yourself.
Parvesh Kumar.
Ma'am, rename yourself.
I'll rename.
Dr. Aarti?
Shall we start, sir?
हाँ, सर आगे क्या?
Not yet, sir.
मैं सर को बोलता हूँ ज्वाइन करने के लिए.
Okay.
अच्छा सर हैं, सर कह रहे हैं I'm in the meeting itself.
So with due permission of authorities, shall I start today's event?
VC sir, are you there? Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I-
Shall I start, sir?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Very good morning and welcome everyone. I am AICTE-DCRUST of Department of Management Studies, Deenbandhu Choturam University of Science and Technology, Murthal. Extend my warm welcome to Chief Guest of the program, Colonel Commandant Professor Rajendra Kumar Anayaji, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Deenbandhu Choturam University of Science and Technology, Murthal, and Vice Chancellor of Bhagat Phool Singh Mahila Vishwavidyalaya, Khanpur Kala, Sonipat. I also extend my warm welcome to special guest Dr. Sudhir Rana from Gulf University, UAE. Further, I welcome Professor Chitrarekha Kabre ma'am, Director Internal Quality Assurance Cell, DCRUST Murthal. I heartily welcome Professor Anil Khurana, Dean and Chairman, Department of Management Studies, and also convener of the program. I welcome all the participants on this 7 days faculty training program on frugal innovation and social entrepreneurship from 12th July to 17th July 2021, organized by Department of Management Studies, Deenbandhu Choturam University of Science and Technology, Murthal. Before we go ahead with the program, let us take blessings from Goddess Saraswati. Anand sir. Anand sir, please start.
वीणा वादनी वरदे वीणा वादनी वरदे प्रिय स्वतंत्र रव अमृत मंत्र नव भारत में भर दे वर दे वीणा वादनी वरदे काट अंध उर के बंधन स्वर बहा ज्योतिर्मय निर्झर निर्झर काट अंध उर के बंधन स्वर बहा ज्योतिर्मय निर्झर निर्झर कलश भेद तम हर प्रकाश भर जगमग जग कर दे वर दे वीणा वादनी वर दे नवगति नवलय ताल छंद नव नवल कंठ नव जलद मंत्र नव नवगति नवलय ताल छंद नव नवल कंठ नव जलद मंत्र नव नव नभ के नव विहंग वृंद को नव पर नव स्वर दे वर दे वीणा वादनी वर दे प्रिय स्वतंत्र रव अमृत मंत्र नव भारत में भर दे वर दे
Thank you, Anand sir, for wonderful Saraswati Vandana. Now move ahead with the formal inauguration of the evening. Frugal, or in literal sense, Jugaad, is the word first spotlighted in 2010 in an article in The Economist. The roots of this concept may lie in the appropriate technology movement of the 1950s. Although profits may have first rung from underserved consumers in the 1980s, when MNCs like Unilever began selling single-use sized toiletries in developing countries. Many entrepreneurial activities are changing, and many entrepreneurs emerge from the grassroots level with limited education, poor technological knowledge, and no access to know-how, yet they offer frugal solutions to underserved customers and make an impact on society. We all know necessity is the mother of invention. As we all know, necessity is the mother of invention. And I must say, the important thing is, and I must say, Jugaad is definitely its Indian version. And finally, before I'll call Professor Anil Khurana, I would like 2 lines. सपनों को साकार करेंगे, सपनों को साकार करेंगे, आसमान में उड़ान भरेंगे, सपनों को साकार करेंगे, आसमान में उड़ान भरेंगे। माना के संसाधन है कुछ कम, माना के संसाधन है कुछ कम, हम भी हिंदुस्तानी है जनाब, हम भी हिंदुस्तानी है जनाब, कुछ ना कुछ जुगाड़ करेंगे, कुछ ना कुछ जुगाड़ करेंगे। With these lines, I would like to introduce Professor Anil Khurana, convener of this FTP, currently working as Dean, Faculty of Management Studies, and Chairman, Professor, Department of Management Studies, and having additional charge of Proctor, Dean Bandhu Choturam University of Science and Technology, Murthal. He did his MBA and PhD from MD University, Rohtak. He has attended 4 months FDP at IIM Ahmedabad. He has worked with INSAR, MD University, Rohtak for 7 years, and Haryana School of Business, GJU Hisar for 3 years. For last more than 12 years, he is with DCRUST, Murthal. His area of interest includes IT, e-commerce, and marketing management. 5 PhD already awarded under him, and 5 students are registered under him. Attended and participated in more than 45 international and national conferences, published 35 research papers in national and international journal of repute, delivered around 70 expert lectures in various orientation and refresher programs organized by various universities. He has completed 1 UGC major research project. He has completed many consultancy projects worth ₹3 crores in the capacity of principal consultant for Government of Haryana, World Bank, and Government of India. He is, I must say, he is the most versatile person of this university. Sir, please brief the participants about the FTP. Rana, sir, please.
Namaskar. Honorable Colonel Commandant Professor Dr. Rajendra Kumar Anayaji, Vice Chancellor of this university and Vice Chancellor of Bhagat Phul Singh Mahila Vishwavidyalaya, Kanpur Kala, Sonipat. Professor Sudhir Rana from Gulf Medical University, UAE. Director IQSC, Professor Chitrekha Kabreji. Dean and Chairperson of different departments, university officials, resource persons, guests, fellow colleagues, and dear participants. A very good morning to all of you. It's a matter of great pleasure that the Department of Management Studies, Deen Bandhu Choturam University of Science and Technology, Murthal is organizing AICTE-sponsored 1-week online national faculty training program on frugal innovation and social entrepreneurship from today to 17th July 2021. We are blessed to have the benign presence of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Colonel Commandant Professor Dr. Rajendra Kumar Anayaji, who is having the additional charge as Vice Chancellor of Bhagat Phul Singh Mahila Vishwavidyalaya, Kanpur Kala, Sonipat. That is the only university, women university in the state. And he is so kind enough that despite of his very busy schedule, he agreed to be the chief guest of the program and to bless us with his kind words. I welcome you, sir, on the inaugural function of this program. I also welcome our guest from UAE, Professor Sudhir Rana, who accepted our invitation to be with us and to deliver his keynote address in the immediately next session after the inaugural one. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation. On this occasion, I welcome our Director IQAC, Professor Chitrekha Kabreji, under whom guidance department is organizing this program. I welcome deans, chairpersons of the different departments, university officials, resource persons, guests, fellow colleagues, and participants on this occasion. A little introduction about the university. Deenbandhu Choturam University of Science and Technology, Murthal, which was erstwhile a CR State Engineering College, is a NAC A-grade state technical university, which was established on 6th November 2006. University is spread over 273 acres with lush green campus and having a fully residential campus at Murthal. And this is in the very vicinity of Delhi. University has 15 teaching departments under 8 different faculties. And with love, we call our university as DCRUST and ourselves as DCRUSTians. And I am proud to be a DCRUSTian. A little journey about our department. Our department, which was named as Department of Management Studies and Humanities in the earlier past, but in 2008, the Department of Management Studies was established. Currently, our department is offering MBA 2-year program with 16 takes, dual degree BBA MBA 5-year program with 16 takes, an innovative program that is Master in Hospital Administration, MHA, 2-year program with 30 intake, where 6 seats are government-sponsored seats, and PhD in Management Studies. And from the coming academic session 21-22, department is going to start MCOM program with an intake of 30 seats. Sir, let me apprise the House that in this program, we have received 215 registration from 9 states of the country. And our resources are from UAE and 9 states of the country, namely Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Uttarakhand, Goa, Chandigarh, Punjab, and Delhi. As all of you are aware that the theme of the program is Frugal Innovation and Entrepreneurship. All of you might be aware that the Government of India declared 2010 to 20, the decade, as the decade of innovation, with a focus on the inclusive growth. In order to help the implementation of the national strategy and to prepare the roadmap for the decade, even a National Innovation Council was also set up. And if we look at the past, after LPG regime in 1991, India emerged as one of the leading economy of the world. Rightly said by Prime Minister Modi in 1921 that he expects that the India will be a 5 trillion USD economy in 2024-25. And with this, India will become the 3rd largest economy of the world. But the question is how it can happen. Now here, the role of frugal innovation and the common man as social entrepreneur comes. We Indians are always full of ideas and skills. But we are lacking, we require proper guidance, support, and encouragement to display our skills, how to work on the innovations, which are not only economical, but also sustainable, and that can be commercially useful. In 2014, the Indian government launched a program with the name as Make in India campaign to facilitate investment, foster innovations, enhance skill development, protect intellectual property, and build best in the class manufacturing infrastructure. The mindset of free India would be local for vocal for local to achieve the goal of Atmanirbhar Bharat. We should appreciate our local products, and we should not do this, then our product will not be get the opportunity to do better and will not be encouraged. Now, these initiatives of the government encourages the young entrepreneurs to come forward and work for the development of the country. Now, AICTE has also started Chhatra Vishkarma Award in 2017 to promote and encourage the young budding engineers and managers to develop their working models, prototype, which can be commercially designed later on. Luckily, I was one of the jury member this year to evaluate more than 200 innovative projects. And I was really astonished to see some of the projects was so beautifully designed, so innovative that our jury team also recommended many of them for the grant of the award. There are number of such examples where Indians have shown their exemplary skills in designing such products through frugal innovation. If we look at the COVID-19 pandemic, where everything was standstill, and when the country was not prepared to conquer it, but we Indians fought it with very bravely and come up with many frugal innovation with no time. There have been some extraordinary moves. Distilleries have made millions of bottles of hand sanitizer within no time. Take the example of foot-operated sanitizers dispensers, sanitizer tunnels, construction of COVID-19 hospitals in just few days, preparation of masks, PPE kits, installation and working of oxygen plants, steam inhalers, management of vaccination apps, etc. Now even the world is appreciating our COVID and Arogya Setu app, and many countries have shown their willingness to work on this particular app with us. Now, frugal innovation in healthcare doesn't mean low quality, but instead means the ability to provide safe healthcare in the best possible way under given circumstances and the constraints. There are a number of frugal innovation examples in our country which are popular throughout the world. Let me apprise you with few popular examples. The Jaipur leg, designed by Dr. P.K. Sethi, which also won the award of Mega Sese Award and in 1981 and Padam Shri by the government in the same year. Then we have another example of the Mitti Kool, where a traditional clay craftsman, Mansukh Bhai Prajapati, literally turned the soil into the gold. He used the cooling property of the clay and created a low-cost biodegradable refrigerator made out of the clay, Mitti Kool. Another example is Godavari, Miss Godavari. She runs a business manufacturing paper latten in a sleepy village of Maharashtra. And within a period of 4 years, she managed to produce, having a turnover of more than 50,000 USD for her company, which is helping empowering herself and the women working in her enterprises. Ramya Jos, she invented a washing machine come exercise machine, where the pedals are used rather than the electricity to wash, and the designed by IITian Sachin Bansal and the Bindi Bansal, which is in the true sense brought Indian shoppers to use their device for online shopping. Flipkart has revolutionized the Indian e-commerce market. Then we have the example of Mansukh Bhai Jagani. His motorcycle turned tractor is cost effective, fuel efficient, where within 30 minutes, he can plow an acre of land with just 2 liters of the fuel. It means the frugal innovation or the jugaad has made its way in the Indian market and finally recognized and adopted the grassroots innovation styles, which once they dismissed and ridiculed as producing band-aid solutions only. If I take the example of Godrej Chotu Kool, a nano refrigerator, Chotu Wash, a nano washing machine by the Godrej, or a Tata Nano. When the Tata Nano was launched, the world was dumbstruck to see a score under the price tag of 1 lakh rupee. Big Bazaar, the simple line of the thought behind the design of the Indian Bazaar is not like the Walmart superstore. Here, procuring the products from known brands and the local suppliers, still keeping the quality standards intact. So there are a number of such examples: Oyo Rooms, Byju's apps, Ola car rental, Zomato, etc. So, as rightly said by Dr. Aarti, necessity is the mother of invention, and we human beings can be resourceful, particularly in crisis and in coming up with frugal solutions that get the job done. I'm sure that this faculty training program will pave a path for the young researchers and the academicians to understand the concept of the frugal innovations and social entrepreneurship, and will guide the students to be the innovators and entrepreneurs in the coming days. I hope you will enjoy this training program. I wish a great success for the program. I wish a healthy and safe life for all of you. Thank you. Jain.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It's always nice to have fruitful insights from you, sir. Thanks a lot. Now it's my privilege to share with you the profile of Professor Chitrarekha Kabari, ma'am, Director, Internal Quality Assurance Cell, Deenbandhu Choturam University of Science and Technology, Muthan. She is one of the most efficient and effective personality of our university. Ma'am did her doctorate in 2008 from University of Queensland, Australia. She did her MTech in 1989 from the School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi. She did her BR in 1985 from the Maulana Azad National Institute of Technology, Bhopal. She is associated with various organizations. She is associated with American Institute of Architects, Lead Green Associate of USGBC, GRIHA Certified Professional and Evaluator, ECBC Master Trainer of Government of India, member of Society of Building Science Educators, USA, and recipient of Jeffrey Cook Memorial Award in 2019. She is founder member of Docomomo India. She is having 30 years of academic and professional experience in the field of computer-aided architectural design, project management, and sustainable architecture and regenerative design and development. She is professor at our university since August 2010. Before that, she was Fulbright visiting professor at North Dakota State University, USA, professor and dean, Manipal University of Technology. She served Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, and Steel Authority of India. She received grant from UGC Innovative Grant of 60 lakhs for MTech program. She was winner of national competition for her pitch Eco House in 2021 and awarded $2,000 by GPPN Paris. Her biography published in Marquez, Who is Who in the World USA, as one of the leading achievers. That was great of you, ma'am. She has also published 3 books from well-known publishers like Taylor and Francis Routledge, Springer, and Detmold. Ma'am, it's great to have you with us. And please share your experience with us and enlighten us. Chitrarekha, ma'am, please join us.
Good morning. I extend a warm welcome to our chief guest, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Colonel Commandant Professor Dr. Rajendra Kumar Tanayat Sir, Worthy Registrar Professor Suresh Kumar, special guest Professor Sudhir Rana, Gulf Medical University, UAE, and convener of the program, Professor Dr. Anil Khurana, Dean Faculty of Management Studies, Chairperson Department of Management Studies, and his team of all management professors, associate professors, and assistant professor. I welcome also all dean, chairpersons, and organizers, and all participants present here. Today, we have gathered here for the AICTE-sponsored 1-week online teachers training program, Frugal Innovations and Social Entrepreneurship, from 12 July to 17 July, organized by the Department of Management Studies. Our university has signed a MOU with All India Council of Technical Education. This MOU spans for 5 years, and it involves conducting 11 teachers training program every year and 4 non-teaching staff training program every year. The overarching aim of this program is to foster implementation of National Education Policy 2020, which is focused on India-centric education. And in this year, the 11 programs are approved by the Program Monitoring Committee. I have a team of eminent professors of our university, and this programs include 6 by departments of our university and 4 by affiliating institution. And 1 program is conducted exclusively by the university library. Already we have conducted successfully 4 programs, 1 by affiliating institution, GVM Institute Sonipat, 1 by Department of Physics, 1 by Department of Humanities, and 1 by the University Library. This program is today, which is commencing, is a very unique, and I would like to quote from the Earth Charter preamble. We stand at a critical moment in Earth's history, a time when humanity must choose its future. As the world becomes increasingly interdependent and fragile, the future at once holds a great peril and great promise. To move forward, we must recognize that in the midst of a magnificent diversity of cultures and life forms, we are one human family, one earth community with a common destiny. We must join together to bring forth a sustainable global society founded on respect for nature, universal human rights, economic justice, and a culture of peace. Toward this end, it is imperative that we, the people of Earth, declare our responsibility to one another, to greater community of life, and to future generation. As this program is themed on innovation and entrepreneurship, which are the keys to success and to achieve the goal of sustainability and its 3-dimension: environment, economic, and social. And I'm sure the eminent speakers we have, the array of eminent experts we have for this program will enlighten you towards the innovation and entrepreneurship, which is need of the hour in every nation. We have to address our local issues, and we have to find our own ways solution to achieve that sustainability goal. AICTE is also going to set up an innovation lab in our university along with Atal Academy. I wish this program a great success, which is very meticulously planned by the Department of Management Study and its faculty member. And I request all the participants to attend all the sessions to be conducted by these experts from across the country. It will definitely help these participants to lead their path to innovation and entrepreneurship and make a sustainable future for India. Thank you very much. And I over to Aarti.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for inspiring word. Thanks a lot. It is hard to beat a person who never gives up. These lines definitely define the attitude of a person towards life and career. Leadership is not about being in charge. Leadership is taking care of those in your charge. With these lines, I take this opportunity to welcome and introduce you all with the strongest pillar of our university, who never gives up, and of course, a great leader. He is Colonel Commandant Professor Rajendra Kumar Anayat, Honorable Vice Chancellor of our university, and also Vice Chancellor of Bhagat Phul Singh Mahila Vishwavidyalaya, Kanpur Kala, Sonipat. He is proud to be a teacher, having a deep passion for teaching with an unstinted love towards printing, engineering, and media sciences, has donned the mantle consecutively 2nd time as the Vice Chancellor of the Deenbandhu Choturam University of Science and Technology. On February 22 of 2020, Government of India granted him honorary colonel rank and appointed as the Colonel Commandant at NCC, considering his unparalleled contributions in academia, research, and administration. A proponent of new industrial convergence theory, and widely traveled around the globe for education, research, seminar, conferences, and tie-ups. We are blessed to have you with us, sir. Sir, kindly enlighten us with your vast experience and in-depth knowledge. Please, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Arati, for this introduction. I was trying to tell this to Professor Khurana ji that we should not do a long introduction of us, because every day we have one or the other programs. Anyway, a great morning to everybody. My respectful regards to all those who have converged from other sides. I mean, our guests, I can see Professor Sudhir Rana from Middle East, who also joined in this program in this morning. And our own colleagues here, starting from our registrar, Dr. Suresh Kumar, I think he was not able to join today because of some other assignment. And the main person behind the entire FTP programs is none other than, just now you heard, Professor Chitreka Kabre. She's organizing many programs, and this is one in that series. Then the pillar of the management department, Professor Anil Khurana, the chairman, and senior professor, Professor Rajbir Singh. I hope he is there in the program. And other faculties like Manju, Dr. Chauhan, and many others are there. And other people who have joined in this program from our own university and from outside. Every time the same thing I repeat, like we may not be able to name each one of you because the name may not be visible on the screen. But all are equal and equal regards and equal respect. The program, this itself, starts with a small jugaad. In fact, I'm sitting in a chair in my home, very aloof, alone. I'm very well aware that only my upper portion will be visible in this camera. So you don't know exactly what I'm wearing in my bottom part. In fact, I'm wearing a lungi, which you can't see. You will see only my upper part, and which I am very clear. I'm looking my comfort at the same time, respecting the whole program. I'm doing both. I'm sure if you really look into each one of you, you will have some story like this to tell now in this COVID time. I don't need to know, but I'm sure. So we all Indians know this very well in our own ways. Yes, I mean, jugaad, the frugal, what you are going to discuss. So I don't need any big explanation, especially for an Indian, what is a frugal innovation. So I want to put my own perspective into that. Before little bit, one or two lines talking about innovation, because there are a lot of experts. They are going to explain you and tell you how to do it. And most of the Indian innovations, frugal innovations as listed by Professor Khurana, there is not much to talk. But I want to ask most of these listeners, specifically from the management background, do you really know the difference between sales and marketing? Many might be knowing it in a theoretical perspective. I come from a international company called Heidelberg, where I was doing a little bit R&D and business consulting. So that was the time I was put into this. I can just put it in a simple language, like sales is something you go and making customers to buy your product, which already exists. But marketing is just the opposite. It is finding what people need and creating a demand for it. So this is the biggest difference. But many a time we mix it up. It is just the opposite, but we think both are same. So in marketing, you spot the problems, wants and desires, and then you go back and create a solution and come and sell it. This is what is happening. So that sale is done by the salespeople. This is the simple way to looking at it. This is what we all did. But in today's marketing is a mix of this demand generation and pushing the sales too. It's a very different story. I'm not trying to mix it up. So I look at frugal innovation is more of it has come something similar to ideals of marketing. The frugal innovation is more or less like ideals of marketing. I mean, you spot an opportunity by looking the problem in the society or the people or a cohort, whatever it is, and you try to develop something. To take up a similar case like what Khurana ji was explaining about Mini, you take the case of Tata Nano alone. Once Ratan Tata was traveling in a crowded city. He saw a family of 4 or 5 adjusting in a bike and traveling through the traffic in a small Indian city. So he felt, how can I leave them like that on the road? 4 or 5 people on a bike. So that was the time he decided. It was more of his philanthropy. I don't call it as a jugaad. But the back of it is ended up in a small jugaad. The question was, he put it back into a management team after coming back. I want to offer a car for everyone. What is the way? So they came, they told you, aap pagal ho gaya, thoda aapka, I mean, maybe you may need a counseling. That's why you are talking all this. This is what his team told him. But he told, no, I don't want to go back. And the result was Nano. Many a time, innovation can be a catastrophe also. The Tata Nano is a big example. It came with a huge purpose, real frugal idea, a small car which can be afforded by anyone and it can maintain easily. And technologically, it is still good. I can still see those cars running in the roads. So there is no issue, but it could not survive. So this we have to think very well before we getting into any kind of frugal innovation. I want to recollect something else in this moment, like somewhere in 2008, I was working on a very interesting project with the counterpart in UK. This I shared with my colleagues here, some of them, but those who are listening me first time, may be interesting to know it. His name was Christopher Barnett. He's a professor from Nottingham University. I was a professor at Manipal University at that time. And we were working on this new industrial convergence theory, like how the industries are going to converge and what will happen. And in 1980s, when US, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, when they decided to look for the future, they came up with the Media Lab. Nicolas Negroponte was the first professor who started the department. And in 1980, he said, all these computing, communication, and content development are going to mix together. All will converge. But nobody believed it at that time. But now the history says by 2000, all convergence happened. So when the convergence happened, that was the time, almost 2001 or 2, I happened to meet this gentleman and we were thinking how we can modify it. And the modification was more of a concept called media, medicine, and manufacturing, how the 3 M's are going to converge. And those days I heard about the new innovation. It's not a frugal innovation, a real innovation, but it came out of a very, very old technology that is nothing but inkjet printing. Inkjet printing is a process which is more than 100 years old. But a scientist in US and a scientist in Japan decided to work on it and repurpose it. I want to use the word repurposing. It's not like reshaping or redefining. A technology, once we design, it must have a particular designed purpose, but after some time it will change. So this is called the repurposing. So now there is a special branch of engineering also, how to do in architecture. Madam must be knowing there's a whole repurposed architecture, buildings and activities. Every engineering, there's a word. So this scientist, Dr. Chuck Hull, who is the father of 3D printing, the so-called 3D printing, even though it has nothing to do with the printing process, they used inkjet as a process to develop a new technology called cubic printing or structured printing or 3D printing, what is known in the world today as a most modern technology. Process is same, technology is same, but completely modified in this way. Got it. Am I visible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because between I think so. Fine. So I'm audible. Fine. So
Yes, sir. You are audible.
yeah. So he used this technology to develop it. So when we were proposing this concept of 3M theory, the new industrial convergence theory, I wrote to this gentleman to have a visit to his factory, which is located in Charlotte in US. So I got an invitation from him and visited him in 2000. Somebody is speaking, I think, in between. So if some
Participants, please mute yourself. All the participants are requested to mute yourself. Yes, sir. You may continue.
Otherwise, now we are accustomed to all this, so we know how to manage it. Nothing can affect our flow. Nothing to worry. So I had an opportunity in 2008 to visit the factory of 3D Systems Incorporated in US. This is the first company which came up with 3D printing. I mean, basically it was used for prototype making, but now it has gone to different dimensions, including construction of a house, components, parts, and whatnot. I don't know. The entire future will be with the 3D printing. In our university also, we are working on a project and we are establishing a center here, a very good center. So when I visited there, I had an opportunity to take an interview of Dr. Chuck Hull. So one point what he discussed with me really stuck into my brain, and that is what I want to share with you in this morning. I was just seeing the backside of his chamber. All his innovations were kept. I mean, patents, whatever he has taken. He had around 59 patents on those days, 2008. Today it must be much more. Out of which I saw his preference of 3D printing was somewhere 9th. 1, 2. I asked him why this is so. He has written his priorities. So his liking towards the technology was just 9th. But from the business perspective, when he wanted to do a business, he decided to put all his effort and investment into a technology called 3D printing. Today, 3D System Incorporated is the world's leading 3D printing company. They have offices around the globe. Even in India, we have. I'm not trying to market their company. There are many others. It's all your choice where to go. I'm just sharing an experience. So he just drew a small diagram in front of me when I was taking his interview. That was a small triangle. And in this triangle, in the top, he has written invention, and on the left, innovation, and on the other corner, it is entrepreneurship. So just imagine, this is, I don't have a board, or because all this is in virtual, we are doing no other option now. So you have to imagine. So it's more like a triangle in which one corner, top is invention, left is innovation and entrepreneurship connected in a triangle. Then he connected it with a circle and he told, I call this as a high-tech life cycle. High-tech life cycle is nothing but invention just happens very accidentally, because you work on something and suddenly you realize, oh, something new. This happened in most of the inventions in the world, whether while taking a bath by Archimedes, he discovered or invented, use the word whichever you want, the theory of buoyancy. Theory of buoyancy was used to save his life, because the king told him, if you are not able to find out the purity of the gold used in the crown, you will be killed. And he could save his life. That's the story. And later it is repurposed, and the navigation industry changed the entire world. So this is the worth of repurposing any concept. So every innovation, when the apple fall down, Newton looked at it and he developed gravitational force, totally different. The applications of gravitational force was totally different. Falling an apple down is a centurion-old issue. It's not a big thing at all. But you see what came out of it is more important. So this is about invention. After invention comes the main role of an innovation. Innovation is nothing but the value addition, what you can do in an invention. And this is which is going to make the human life comfortable. So where the ergonomics, other activities, cost, and other value additions. All this will be addressed in innovation. That is why any country which have a better innovation will be the country, more than invention, I am telling. Because after the invention, technology will be out within no time. But who is going to innovate much more on this is the country which is going to lead the things. Whether we accept it or not, it's a reality. You look at China today. Innovation, when it comes, they are wonderful. Look at Scandinavian countries, the way they innovate. So innovation is something which is the real backbone of the nation. So in India also, now a lot of cells are coming, a lot of support from the government side to take up innovation activities. So in that juncture, this concept of discussion today is the right thing to do at this point of time, especially in this pandemic time. What better innovations can be brought up, especially when resources are scarce, especially in developing countries like ours. In a pandemic time, every resource is very, very scarce. So very difficult to find out. So we have to come up with new ideas, which we have seen in oxygen generators and other medical equipment and other facilities, whether it is ambulance or you talk, I can tell you 100 innovations really connected to COVID pandemic time in the last 1 year. So this is what is happening. So to cut the long story short, what he told was, innovation may look very nice, but if that innovation, if it cannot bring money back from the market, that innovation will not survive. It is not the greatness of the innovation. It is not the highlight of the technology which will not exist in the market. The best example is what I said now, is the nano. You will not see much nanos on the road. Technology is wonderful, real innovation. $2,000 a car for an ordinary man was amazing and nobody could believe it and they could do it. But reason was something else, because the high-tech life cycle was not there. So if the high-tech life cycle is nothing but idea may be so good, but if it cannot bring money back from the market, that kind of innovation will never exist. So this is what is called high-tech life cycle. So those who are participating in this particular Frugal Innovation Social Entrepreneurship Training Program, only single suggestion in this morning, what I want to tell you is, any kind of innovation you come up, you make an analysis whether it has got a high-tech life cycle or not. If that thing has a high-tech life cycle, nobody can stop you. Flipkart is an example, or many I can suggest you, as what Rana ji mentioned out of from that. So this assessment is very much needed, whether it will survive or not. Because just because some technology looks very fancy, looks very nice to you, you can publish a paper, but it may not survive in the market. So with this simple advice in this morning, I want to thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to be with you, and wish you a great time ahead and have a safe and healthy time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. I must say, sir, listening you has become a synonym to learning something new every time. Thanks for being there, sir, and always being a continuous source of inspiration and motivation. Each and every word coming from your side means a lot, sir, and really thought-provoking. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now we move ahead. The simple and best definition of management we have learned as management professionals is to get the things done. And the most suitable person for quoting these definitions is Dr. Anju Sigroha, Associate Professor, Department of Management Studies, DCRUST. She really knows how to get the things done. She is the most calm person I have ever met. She is coordinator of this FTP. She makes it sure that each and everything should be at its perfect place. She is having more than 16 years of teaching experience. Before joining this university in 2006, she worked with prestigious institutes like APJ and Lingayas. She has published around 20 papers in national and international journal of repute. She participated and presented in around 45 national and international conferences. Right now, around 6 students are registered under her, and 2 students have already completed their PhD under her guidance. And no duty is more urgent. No duty is more urgent than of returning thanks. Now I request Dr. Anju Sigroha to come forward for formal vote of thanks. Please, Dr. Anju.
Thank you, Dr. Arti. A very good morning to one and all present in this 1 week online FTP inaugural session. After listening to all, I must say companies need to move from do more, not just do more with less, but do better with less. With these lines, I deem it a great honor to propose the vote of thanks to all who have helped us and accept our invitation for this FTP. First of all, I would like to propose hearty vote of thanks to our chief guest, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Colonel Commandant, Professor Rajendra Kumar Anayat for gracing today's inaugural session. Thank you, sir, for your very interesting and thought-provoking address. Next, I am extremely thankful to Professor Chitrarekha Kabre, Director, IQAC, for her guidance and moral support. Thank you, ma'am. I express my sincere gratitude towards our Dean, Chairman, and convener of this FTP, Professor Anil Khurana, for his continuous support, guidance, and encouragement in all our efforts. Thank you, sir. I am happy to express vote of thanks to my team, Dr. Manisha, Dr.
Dr. Anju, your voice is gone.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible now.
Okay. I am happy to express vote of thanks to my team, Dr. Manisha, Dr. Anand Chauhan, Ms. who worked hard continuously for making this FTP a grand success. Thank you all. Last but not the least, I am thankful to all participants for being patient listeners throughout the inaugural session. Thanks a lot. Once again, I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you, Anju ma'am. Thank you very much. All participants are requested to switch on their cameras for group photograph. All participants, please switch on your cameras for group photograph.
Dr. Jitender, Dr. Jyoti, I didn't see you. You are all here. No, okay, fine. Good. Thank you.
Dr. Aarti, your camera is switch on your camera.
Are we done, Kuldeep?
Yes,
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. We have taken photograph.
Thank you all. Thank you so much. Have a great time.
Thank you, sir. Now we'll have
Thank you, sir.
second session soon, and host for the same will be Ayushi. Over to you, Ayushi. Ayushi, are you there? Ayushi, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Ayushi, we'll have second session after some time. In the meantime, we can have.
I have second session. Yes, ma'am.
Ayushi, your voice is breaking.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, you're audible. Bit better.
Yes, ma'am. Our session, next plenary session with Professor Sudhir Rana sir is at 12 p.m.
In the meantime, I request participants, if they have something to share their jugaad during this pandemic period, they are most welcome to share their jugaad, because during this pandemic, I hope and I'm sure that we have all become innovators, maybe good gardeners, maybe good carpenters, and maybe so on. So if anybody wish to share his innovation or her innovation, is most welcome. Rana sir, you would like to add something? Jitendra sir?
Good morning once again to
Good
Professor
morning, sir.
Arti.
Good
And
morning.
if it is comfortable to go with my session, I don't mind keeping it now. I mean, I'm okay to do it.
Purana sir?
We can prepone the session, no issue.
Okay, sir, then there is no problem. Ayushi?
Sir, no issue.
Yeah,
Fine, sir.
somehow.
Ayushi, are you there?
Ayushi,
Yes, sir.
we may start the session.
So we are going to start the second session right now.
Okay. So participants, be there. We'll start our first plenary session for this training program, faculty training program now only. So it's good we are a little early. And I hope in the morning you are energetic also. So we'll start. Our first plenary session is with Professor Sudhir Rana sir. Is he here? Is sir here?
Yep. I'm here. Yeah.
Ayushi, can you hear? Ayushi?
Yeah, 1 second, sir. 1 second.
Okay. So if anyone is interested to share his or her innovation during this pandemic period,
I'm just opening the laptop. सर मुझे ये ओपन करना पड़ेगा ना, इसमें मैंने लिखा हुआ है उसमें ओपन करना है मेरे आंसर बोलिए
I think Ayushi will take 2-3 more
Ayushi,
minutes.
that's perfectly fine. I'll introduce myself. You really need not to. Yeah, I can do. Trust me.
No, sir, I'm just, it's VR.
I'll have a better interaction. I know myself.
I think she will be ready within 2 minutes, next 2 minutes.
That's perfectly fine. At least this could have given me an opportunity to have an informal introduction of mine. Maybe my formal introduction is much more popular than knowing the real self of mine.
Ayushi, how much time will you take?
Sorry, sir, I was just opening my laptop.
Sorry,
sir. Okay. Please.
Okay. So first, I apologize to Professor Sudhir Rana, sir.
Really, no need. Seriously.
Okay, so I was just opening my laptop because now we are doing it virtually. So, okay, so first of all, I'll introduce Professor Sudhir Rana, sir. So we are very blessed to have him today. So Professor Sudhir Rana, sir, is a faculty of marketing and strategy at the College of Healthcare Management and Economics at Gulf Medical University. He holds PhD degrees with the Ministry of Human Resource Development Scholarship from Government of India and postdoctorate from a Putra Business School, Malaysia. He has set in high standards in academics and research. Professor Rana sir has been associated with Fortune Institute of International Business, India and Maastricht School of Management, Kuwait. Professor has delivered 150 plus workshop sessions, keynote speeches and webinars. So you can see in this, having 150 plus sessions is a very big number. Is there any problem? So it's a very big number, having more than 100 workshops, like delivering more than 100, 150 workshops and sessions. As I am a research scholar in this department, I feel delivering so much sessions, and now I feel he would be delivering daily sessions virtually. So it's our honor to have him with us. Moreover, the professor has launched and chaired doctorate program at Fortune Institute of International Business. Sir's research area is consumer behavior and emerging markets. Professor's research is published in the Journal of Business Research, International Journal of Emerging Markets, and Journal of Promotion Management, among others. So he has a long list of research articles and in, you can say, many good journals, or we say class A journals. Professor is a well-known scholar and editor in his field. A few stories that he turned around include the progression of the journal FIIB Business Review, which is the most preferred journal from SAGE. Professor holds the position of senior editor with the International Journal of Emerging Markets and South Asian Journal of Marketing. Professor is also founding series editor of Advances and Emerging Markets and Business Operations by Taylor and Francis, and an upcoming series review of management literature by Emerald. I hope all of you have heard the names of Taylor and Francis and Emerald. So now sir can start his session. I invite sir, and generally we say the stage is all yours, but as we are going virtually, I'll say, because people are listening to you all over the globe, all over the earth, so I'll say all word is yours. Sir, please begin your session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Issues related to innovations and technology are increasingly occupying a central role in the field of industrial revolution, in the field of business management strategies, in our heart and mind as our desires and dreams, and more specifically nowadays in economic policies. But one thing that I have observed about it is that the field has raised more number of questions than in answering these. Some of these questions that remain unanswered till today is what innovation that we are talking about. Why do companies do it? And companies have multiple ways of choosing an innovation and leaving other. When we talk about disruptive innovation, because I'm going to talk more about disruptive innovations, then how disruptive innovation work, what exactly it is. Well, I would like to congratulate the Christians for bringing such thought-provoking theme to debate on. I would like to congratulate the leadership team, especially Professor Kumar, Professor Kabri, Professor Kurana, Professor Singh, and all my dearest colleagues, Dr. Manju, Dr. Aarti, Dr. Jitendra, Dr. Chauhan, and all others to plan it and put it forward for the discussion. I'm gonna talk, like I said, that I'm gonna talk more about disruptive innovation. And whenever we talk about it, there are a number of questions that bounce my mind. I keep on dealing with a number of things related to disruptive innovations. May I have my colleagues on the screen and see that how do you look into it? What do you think that disruptive innovation is? And why companies need it? So my question is, okay, disruptive innovation is, but why do we need it? why companies put forward their strategies towards disruption. Why? There can be a breakthrough innovation, isn't it? Why do they need it? Can I have my colleagues here? I want to take it like a discussion rather than a typical presentation. Though I have a slide and I'll take you through to my slides, but I'll be more happy if you will have your views shared here. That what specifically.
Yes, you
For
can.
want of power,
Yes, you can move.
Yes, you can.
for power,
For power,
yeah,
you mean
especially like this pandemic,
power in the market, you mean?
power in the world economy and market,
Okay. So power in the world economy. And what kind of power do you mean?
power in the industrial sectors, in like pharmacy.
Power in their domain, power in the field that they work in. Right? So companies go for disruption and disruptive innovation for power. This is what
Yes,
you mean to say, madam?
yes.
Okay. What else it can be?
With your
Hear
kind
from other
permission,
colleagues
if I
too.
can answer, sir. Can I say something, sir?
Please participate. Let's have a debate.
Okay. As far as I believe, there are two ways to grow. One is what already others are doing, and we try to do something in a better way. Disruptive innovation is something which gives you an exponential growth. Like when FedEx came for the first time, what most of the company were doing is doing it with commercial trucks and all that thing. They thought an idea that if we can use our private plane rather than using commercial flight for delivery, then there is a huge scope and we can charge substantially high price. So disruptive innovation in a way brings you an very huge growth opportunity where companies take years to build an empire. If it works, the disruptive innovation, like what Airbnb did, within 12-15 years, they became one of the fastest growing company in the world. So this growth you cannot expect with something by doing something which everyone else is doing, but by doing something a small innovation sort of things. So as far as I understand, and if growth comes, everything else will follow, powers and everything.
Wonderful. Let's hear from other colleagues too. Yes, please feel free to put your view forward. Okay, let me ask you,
Hello,
what
sir.
motivate firms to go for disruptive innovation? And let me start with an example. Like Professor said that Tata went for nano. Tata also had a chance to compete with companies like Toyota, Ford, Mercedes, and create another segment of SUVs rather than coming back to nano. Why would Tata go for nano instead of choosing to produce cars that compete with Mercedes, Toyota, and Ford? Why?
So that
Because
more, yeah, Professor, Dr. Prateek, sir, you can tell.
as we have seen in blue ocean and red ocean strategy also, I can relate it with blue ocean strategy. If you do something like this sort, you get an uncontested market rather than fighting with another and making the whole sea red. You can create your own market, and meanwhile other enter, you have already established yourself. And that is exactly what I mean is disruptive innovation, the blue ocean strategy.
So you mean to say competitive advantage, right?
Yes, yes. Uncontested market.
Yeah, like you do something different, you create your own segment, you want to have a rivalry over others, and you want to take an advantage of it.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
Good morning. This is Sarita Yadav. Actually, if
Dr.
we take
Sarita, we can't see you. I'm sorry, I'm asking for this if possible.
yeah, I'll try. Okay, disruptive innovation is like Uber, Ola, and Go. These are examples of these innovation, you can say, because the company which is not having infrastructure, still they are providing the hotel booking services and all. The company which is not having even their own taxis and all, still they are providing the services through which you can book your service taxis and all. So these all are the, I think, examples of disruptive innovation.
Okay, I would like to ask one question to all my colleagues here, and this is not a question you just reply simple yes or no in the chat box. That's how many of you have read the first article by Professor Christensen on disruptive innovation. He is the professor who coined the term disruptive innovation. And how many of you have read his article? You just say yes or no. I just want to see that how many of you have read it and how many of you have just heard of the term called disruptive innovation. Feel free to say no. Like if there is a no, please feel free to say no. If there is a yes, then please feel free to say yes. By the way, I have shared the URL of the paper here. No, 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 no. I have more no's. Yep. He has clearly said in his paper that Uber is not a disruptive innovation. And it made me think multiple times that, oh my God, he is in a way is father of disruptive innovation. And we keep on. However, people have come with the contradictions that whether what is disruptive innovation and what is not. And I have my own views being a scholar in the field. That's why I consider disruptive innovation this way. And multiple scholars have their own views. So like we started that what disruptive innovation is and what we keep in disruptive innovation, it is very important for us to understand that why it is required, where are we leading to, and what is the future that we are targeting. If you look at the traditional way of technology and innovation, why technology and innovation has been required, the more first industrial revolution to fourth industrial revolution, there have been a lot of change in the industry. We have changed the humans with the machines, then machines efficiency, then optimization of the resources, then coming back to the quality of the products, then coming back to a lot of brandings and marketing of the stuff, then educating to the consumers. We have done a lot of efforts that have given the shift to the industry from a pure human driven industry to a pure machine driven industry. And nowadays not only machine driven industry, a data driven industry, an information driven industry. We have moved from human driven to data driven to information driven. Why and why are we talking about at one side when we are talking about so much of technological innovations where luxury is all around, where human comfort is all around, and the world is talking about convenience of delivering a product through drones, convenience of having an information on just one click, convenience of having human augmentation. You just put a specs and you see the movies, convenience of having anything available at your third screen. And customers are ready to pay for that. You are ready to pay anything and everything that brings convenience to you, comfort to you, not you. Imagine I work for a healthcare college and we have our own hospitals here. Imagine that if there is an emergency situation or you dream something, you are ready to pay for it. Are you not? Is it only about having the innovation, and innovation for what? Innovation, if you look into my forefathers, your forefathers have been struggling to conduct a, a living. and they have identified a different way to make their living comfortable. Moving on, when we entered into the second industrial revolution and the third industrial revolution, we identified that for what, and we started doing innovations for standard of living. And anything that you saw, anything that companies did was to raise your standard of living. Moving on further, the era we are in today, is the standard of living everything? Possibly not, possibly yes. But if you like to take a midway and try to moderate the debate, you'll find that the quality of life is much more important than anything else. And when you see that the more number of countries in the world and more number of people, they come into the middle level income segment or low level income segment. No wonder if you know that India itself is a huge population and highly populated, one of the highly populated country in the world, but it's a low income country. So my question here is that when we talk about multiple segments available in the market, and I'm a marketing scholar, I study marketing from both the different segments point of view as well as from the behavioral point of view, then should they not deserve a comfort? One, should they not deserve the convenience? Second, should they not eye for the luxury? Third, should they not think about this quality of life? If you see, in India, people have been struggling for a quality of life, not only for the mental balance and peace, but also from the resources point of view. And I would like to remind my colleagues the debate that Professor C.K. Perlhad raised by the concept of bottom of pyramid. I'm sorry that my talk is going to be limited from the marketing point of view, but I'm going to link that with a strategic point of view, that when you talk about the disruptive innovation, before doing an innovation, the question came for whom? You're doing innovation, but you are doing innovation for whom? And that's a fundamental question, my dear friends, that an organization face whenever they talk about an innovation. Like I said, that when an organization think about an innovation, they have both the ways open. One way is to innovate for a segment that will give them a premium pricing, that will pay higher for that service. Like I said, that if you talk about companies like Toyota or Tata, they could go and compete with companies like BMW and Mercedes, create more number of Audis, create more number of, luxury SUVs, could earn profit through that. And the second option that they have had is to create a car that can reach to the common person. So when we talk about innovation, the first fundamental questions come: innovation for whom? And like I said, that if you look that the traditional way, most of the innovation have been done for the upper part of the pyramid, for the people who can afford innovation. How about those who cannot afford innovation? Should innovation not come to them? And like Professor C.K. Prahlad said, that the fortune for the companies remain at the bottom of pyramid. Yes, no? Any comments on it? Colleagues, any comments on what I said?
Participants can participate in this and um, answer sir's question. Anyone from the participants? It would be fun if there would be two-way communication.
Yeah, absolutely. This is my view. When I think of innovation, I think from a point of view for whom I'm going to innovate. And this is one of the fundamental questions companies face.
So from organization point of view, I feel this is the first question what company has whenever they do an innovation or whenever they go for a new product. Like for whom they are
Yeah.
going to sell this.
Absolutely.
Because ultimately it's about making revenue or maximizing their profits.
Sir, what, whom, how, and why?
Absolutely.
And technological breakthrough is what everybody is aiming at rather than goodwill. So
Yep.
that is why disruptive innovations happen, especially the 5G. Though they were telling a lot of harms and cancer cells can spread and all that stuff, still it is suddenly one day I open my cell phone and it says 5G. I was little scared. Oh, 5G, but then a lot of comfort, facilities. One globe it is now.
Okay. So I'm of a point of view that considering the innovation have been done for the people who can afford innovation, now this was the time when innovation should reach to a niche segment, should reach to the people who have zeal of using innovation, and they are the large in the numbers, yet it should be given to them in the price that they can afford. So disruptive innovation is not only a response to innovation, it also have a very specific component built into it, and that component is affordability. So disruptive innovation is a way to bring something innovative, and this is incremental innovation, by the way, not a breakthrough innovation, at an affordable price. That's the characteristic of disruptive innovation. So disruptive innovation is not only bringing the high technology or a nanotechnology or a breakthrough innovation to consumers or just identifying a niche segment, but it also have the cost component attached to it. So the one of the basic major strategy that companies, whether you talk about Toyo or Airbnb or Uber or any other that you think that disruptive innovation is there, so the basic aspect or basic strategies that these companies have followed is reducing the price to a significant extent. This is what they did. And this is what for disruptive innovation is known. Okay, I have my few slides. I'll put those forward. And sorry, I was at my last slide. I was just checking that everything is in appropriate order. So let me move to the first one. This I have already shared with you, that what disruptive innovation is. And let's come here.
Good morning, Dr. Rana.
Hi, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Dr. Pradeep Mishra, this side, College of Pharmacy. Tell me the example related to the rural Indian market, Indian rural market, because the customers are belong to the rural India. So, and discussing about the and
Pradeep sir, there is so much of echo. Pradeep sir, you are not audible and there is so much echo. Can you please check for your surroundings and then speak? Please.
Can you have one example of that disruptive innovations in compared to the rural Indian market? Because I think the urban market has been saturated compared to the rural market. So there is a huge scope between the Indian rural market. So can you give me a 1 to 3 examples in the latest trends?
Okay. I'm going to give you multiple examples, Professor. I'm going to give you multiple examples, but before I move on to the examples, let me lay the foundation of what exactly the disruptive innovation is.
Okay, sir, sure.
Like I have been saying, that when it comes to innovation and especially disrupt the innovation, so what companies actually do is company focus on two things. One is that they want to respond to the problems. Larger populations, low incomes create a lot of problems. Larger populations or small populations, less number of resources creates more problems. So what companies are responsible for? What businesses are responsible for? Businesses always respond to the problems. You have a problem of having communication with people who are far from you, and what you need? A communication device. You want to convey your message to your colleagues, your friends, and therefore what you need? Maybe a pager kind of device or a email system that can help you out in having your communication. And not only that, you are nowadays prisoners at your home due to the lockdown, and you want a solution, and there are different companies coming in that, yes, I can do this job for you. We can pick up your groceries and del- make it available, deliver it at your doorstep. So whether this is Grofers or Big Basket and Amazon, any organization, they think of responding to your problem. So what businesses have been doing? Businesses have been responding to the problems. You look at whatever you use, every product or service that have been offered to you by the business organizations are response to any of your problem. Look at Kindle. Look at now the in even in the third screen, we have a mobile phone and we have a laptop, but still companies came with iPad. Companies came with the tabs, something that can mediate your both the problems. So what companies do when they innovate solutions. They respond to the problems. And when they innovate solutions, they really need to think the solution to whom. Ultimately, people who have a better economic power or better incomes, they can hunt for multiple solutions. They can hire someone. Let's take a simple problem of either Uber or Airbnb that have responded by Uber or Airbnb, that someone who has deep pockets can go and stay in a 5-star suite. Any problem? Not a problem. But think about a family who want to have a tour very, very comfortable and want to feel home at a place which is far from their home. And the problem is affordability. The problem is autonomy. And what companies need to do? Companies need to make it available at a price that they can afford. Now look at the Uber's model. A person like me who doesn't have a lot of money cannot hire a driver. And I don't know driving. Now what I need? What is my problem? My problem is I want a temporary cab driver with the vehicle, because I don't want to own the vehicle when I don't know the driving, or there can be a number of reasons. So the problem was of transportation that looks more personalized, not only a way of transportation. The public transportation have been in place, but what we were looking a personalized way of transportation. So companies have always two focus. One is the cost reduction and the second is response. So they want to respond to the problems that exist with the customer segments. And there always a focus is that how they reduce the cost. And this is what disruptive innovation does. They respond to the problems in an economic way, a way that can be afforded, that can be afforded with a number of people who are at bottom of pyramid or around that, because this has been discussed by the companies that the fortune lies at the bottom of pyramid. You look here, And this graph I have already shared with you, the paper that I have shared. So this is the model of disruptive innovation. If you see, there are high-end markets, there are mainstream markets, there are less profitable markets. And when we talk about the product performance, there is competitive advantage trajectories. And what these companies want competitive advantage. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. What is your understanding with competitive advantage? What do you think is the competitive advantage? I'm sorry, I'm asking question like a typical professor, but I just
Anyone from the audience?
So competitive advantage is something that your company cannot offer. Your competitors cannot offer, but you can.
competitive advantage is something that you can offer, but your competitors cannot offer.
Sir, location of your particular industry or company?
Location. Okay, what more? Location, something that your competitors cannot do.
R&D?
R&D.
Refers to factors that allow company to produce goods or services better or more cheaply than its rival.
Then it's revival.
These factors allow productive entity to generate more sales. How to generate the more sales?
Okay. Let me ask you another basic question related to competitive advantage, that companies create competitive advantage to the external environment or internal. What gives them competitive advantage? External environment or the internal resources, internal environment? And what is important for them? External environment. External environment.
Yeah, customers,
external environment.
Customers, competitors,
Any
and market.
stakeholder. Any stakeholder.
Any stakeholder. Let me ask you another question on it, and please don't mind me. It's a discussion. It's not a question,
Sir,
please.
It's a really extraordinary session going on.
External environment is same for everyone. External environment is same. The companies that are working in India at a specific segment, whether these are metro cities or the rural geographies, external environment is same for them.
Sir, competitive advantage is within the organization, but for the external.
Mm-hmm. So what exactly the companies need? Look inside themselves and then create a competitive advantage, or should learn from the external environment and then create the competitive advantage?
Sir, the internal analysis, actually this SWOT analysis, then the company can create, because what internal, you can say, the qualities they can improve, and what are the requirement of the environment, or what the other they have, so we can get the advantage with respect to the competitors.
But now the next question, you are bringing very interesting context, Dr. Umesh, and please call me Sudhir. It is really interesting, but everything can be copied by the competitors, isn't it? Bring something and it can be copied.
But sir, the competitive
Yeah, sir, it can be, but till the time that particular advantage or quality or competitiveness will be developed by the other ones, we can go for the development of the new ones.
So you will always have to be disruptive in approach, you mean?
Excuse me, sir. I would like to add up here.
Yeah, or you're saying that this is a wicked problem. Yeah, please, Vandana. I'm just saying it's a wicked problem. What wicked problem is, the wicked problems come like, I'm going to give you something, a funny example. And the funny example is that every day when I work, I get sweated. And when I get sweated, I have to take a bath. So irritating. I don't want to do that. Can you prescribe a solution to me? So it's a wicked problem. Yeah, no, but still, Even how long I can be in AC, for a week, for a month, for a few months. Ultimately, whenever I'll work out, I'll again sweat and I'll have to take a bath. So these are the wicked problems. So the wicked problems are the problems that you'll have to continuously keep on building and, you know, building on it. Keep on building, keep on responding to it. The problems are going to be there and the solutions are going to be there. So innovations are like the wicked problems. It's not that there is one solution for it, and this is the same for the disruptive innovation. Sometimes just to check the depth of my authors, I also write them that's okay what kind of problem it is. You're saying it that it is DI. I don't work on DI, I work on strategy side, but I sometimes, you know, questions bounce my mind. Vandana, you had to say something. So it's
Yes,
a
sir, I
wicked
was just
problem. It's not a one-time solution.
Yeah, definitely. I was just adding to this competitive advantage only that the technology which we are coming up with, we should try to make sure that it is not easily imitatable. It is very important for the organization that I'm coming up with a particular technology which is not easily copied by my competitors, because I'll be able to gain this advantage till that moment my technology is not being copied. Because, and that's why, as you have said, it's a wicked problem. We have to keep innovating ourselves.
It exists only in dreams. A technology that cannot be copied only exists in dreams. You talk about any technology today and you talk about any imitable resource, but it can be copied. Then what creates the competitive advantage?
Patent rights.
Sorry?
Patent rights, sir.
Patent rights, but they will come with the alternatives. I'm not saying that they will copy as such, and you have seen the Pepsi Coke war. That's the biggest example in the world. One says that, and people use them interchangeably, don't you? You look at both of these as soft drink. Celebrating an occasion really doesn't matter whether it's Pepsi or Coke, until and unless you're a fan of it. कुछ भी दे दे यार, दे दे मेरे को खाने के साथ चाहिए कोल्ड ड्रिंक. No? You're arranging a party, you'll have 2 cartoons of Coke and 2 of Pepsi. This is how the consumers are. So even though your technology are different, but ultimately the product on the surface is going to look same. And consumers will have almost the same kind of experience. Do you really? We are the business management people. We can actually deep dive and understand that differences. And you ask the different variants offered by these companies, people will not even say that Lifebuoy and Lux come from the same company. They will not even know that Mirinda and Coke how they are related. They will not. Isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So in this situation, how will you create competitive advantage?
Wrap up a good text of advertisement and product introduction in the market. It sweeps the mind.
Mm-hmm. Okay, give me some more solutions.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, can it be the speed of diffusion of the innovation?
Okay, there are companies like 3M that uses a footback strategy. So what footback strategy is actually that you keep on acquiring the high performing products and keep on including these high performing products in your own portfolio kitty, and whenever you have a chance to diffuse these because these are not a high investment at the beginning, and the companies products that are making profits for you build on these over a period of time. Yes, Professor Deepak.
Oh, well, with reference to competitive advantage, I would like to add here is that
please, sir.
This imitable and getting copied and all that stuff keeps on going. Right, that technology can be copied. But I would like to take the audience to different level and said that we're using two assets, intangible and tangible assets. So if you are looking at the intangibility of things, right, that is something where it's very difficult for you to copy, right? Like your brand, your people, your training, and all the stuff. But as far as you are not into that, you keep on following a competitor endlessly, and that kind of thing keep on going. In my opinion, advantage is registered only when you focus more on your intangibility aspect of your differences.
Wonderful. Can I see you? I mean, you're not there on
All right.
screen. I can hear you well.
I'm sitting somewhere. Anyway, I'll keep my camera on.
No issues, no issues. Okay, so like Professor said, that there are components of intangibility that organizations will have to nurture over a period of time. And over a period of time, companies take a lot of time to think that whom they are going to serve, when they'll have to decide about the innovation and taking competitive advantage and deciding about their niche segment, then they think about the intangible aspects. And these intangible aspects are not only about nurturing their human resources, also relate to their mission, what their mission is, the vision, that why they exist. And that's the core strategy of an organization, to define that why they exist. And many of the organizations today talk about the respect, collaboration, excellence, and whatnot. And one of the major missions that they keep is because business and society work hand in hand with each other. So they see a lot of people struggling for the product or service that they offer. And what comes to their mission is ultimately to show themselves different from others, is having a segment that is in need of their product and services yet not able to afford it. Computers, when they came 50 years ago, these were expensive. These were beyond the reach of a common person. Only some organizations were having one or two. Maybe some organizations were having for a specific purpose. But what has happened over a period of time, companies realized that the machine is actually of a use of a common person too. Can get the skill, can make the life easy, can improve the standard of living, can also bring ease of life. So my dear friends, I'll not drag you much into the discussion, would like to say that when companies think of having a competitive advantage and companies think of innovation, they think about their mission, they think about their niche segments, and therefore they try to serve a segment that remain unserved, that remain untapped. So, and what remains untapped is the one who cannot afford it. Simple. The one who to whom companies are not able to reach for one or other reason. And therefore I am talking about the bottom of pyramid. And most of the disruptions that we are seeing are tapping bottom of pyramid, at the bottom of pyramid. Why they're tapping? Because they may not have that much affordability, but their buying capacity in terms of units, that the possibility of being bought there is very high. You may create a premium product or service, but the number of units gonna be less there compared to when you come at bottom of pyramids. And because of the more number of buyers, the possibility of having a big sale volume is much higher there. So companies have other gain two strategies. One is that you sell less number of units and charge premium, and second is that you sell more number of units and charge a affordable amount. So that's the second strategy that companies opt for. You're creating for whom? And what is their affordability and what kind of price? Because when it comes in about innovation, the second thing that attached to it is the pricing. As you talk about Netflix, you talk about Amazon, and let me ask you a very simple question of McD burger. Have you ever thought that McD is offering its burger all across the globe, and yet their price of the burger differ. Why does it? No, that's not a breakthrough or disruptive innovation, but how the price of the burger differ across different geography, and how do they decide that the price of the burger in US what it should be, in UAE what it should be, in India what it should be? Just any thoughts?
Primarily, it is of the buying capacity. It's all about the demography, population, the target customer they're looking at, and what they can afford. So they try to make a balance. That's the very layman approach, a very general approach to look at it. However, the other pricing concept that we have studied so far is that raw material and procurement that they do from the sourcing and all that. So how could they make the pricing, the break even? If they
Yeah.
are getting the raw material in time and also in bulk that we see in, they have reached out to the farmers for that matter to get the potato from there, convert it into processed. That may help them to bring down differentiation in the pricing possibly. That's how I.
Thanks, Professor Deepak. You had a beautiful point, and can we have point from Dr. Jayanti?
Sir, it is based on cost to the company. If a product is sold, we have to make a profit. So based on the cost to the company, naturally, it's selling a product in US depending upon the location and the available resources may vary from what is available in India and UAE. So basically, cost to the company will be the main criterion, and demand perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you look at the different aspects when it comes to the pricing. And when it is disruptive innovation and you're trying to tap a market at the bottom of pyramid, therefore you look at the numbers while preparing this strategy. You do not look at geographies as such. For you, what you see is the number of consumers, the number of people who will use this innovation. You possibly do not think about that how the purchasing power parity that my friend was saying. I'm sorry, my Professor Deepak, that I'm just trying to translate your phrase into a more common lingo. That purchasing power parity is something that guide organization to decide about prices, and that purchasing power parity differs across the geographies for a number of reasons. So when we even the companies think about bottom of pyramid or talking about taking a specific segment into consideration, they think about affordability. It is really important. Well, one of my friend was asking about the examples. There are a number of examples, and you fit in the companies. This has been always replacing something that is existing and doing or presenting it in a different way, yet in an affordable manner. So my dear friends, like I'm being a marketing scholar, will always attach affordability with disruptive innovation, and this is what my understanding is. And like I said, that different scholars have their different understanding and definition for the disruptive innovations. So you may have yours, but mine is response and cost both. So it should be affordable and it should be respond to an existing problem. So if you see cars, yes, disruptive operations or innovations. If you see telephones, LEDs, smartphones, tablets, sensors, even the services in the restaurants, QSRs, and since when the technology came, a lot of internet disruption, telemedicines to your learning disruptions through the LinkedIn learnings or Coursera or ADX. And not only that, the companies who come and serve you for a specific service. So this all is disruption, and the disruption is going to be look much deeper than what it is today. In the future, it's going to be. So whether it is the internet-based disruption, talking for Google, eBay, Amazon, Facebook, Photobook, and whatnot. They have created an internet-based economy, or say information economy. This economy is known as information economy. We are living in an era where information is abundant and free. And what we do, we try to use that information in multiple ways. If you see that we people, most of us here in screen, we're digital migrants. We have learned computer, then we have learned the usage of internet maybe when we were 10, 12, 15, or maybe more than that. If I look at me, that when I sat on the computer for the first time, I was 14 years old. And when I actually got a hand on it, was 20 years old. So we are migrants. We are not natives. You think about the upcoming generations that are coming. They are digital natives. So they are going to use this information in very, very different way. And when we talk about innovation plus augmentation plus big data, robotics, many things together, I mean, whole innovation technology together, innovation and information together, innovation and strategy together, you look at different angles. So innovation is one standalone yet complete basket in itself, but there are more. You think from a business point of view. For business, the innovation is not enough. They also need to have a technology to create compounding or to create the cycle of this innovation. Just having innovation is not enough. They need to create different versions of this innovation and put this innovation into the practice. So they need a technology that can support. They also need a strategy, the strategy that bring more collaborators together to believe on this innovation and put their faith on this innovation. I mean, put this innovation into the practice. Different collaborators. For example, when Airbnb came, the Airbnb also need to win over different trust. The collaborators, these can be suppliers, then it can be the house owners, these can be the companies that are going and taking these places on the rent. So you also need strategies to tie different collaborators together and look from those angles. Look that when you're talking about the innovation, how information can help, how technology can help, how strategy can help, and how can you create the whole ecosystem together. So it is not just having disruptive innovation, it is that how do you create the environment and the ecosystem for that disruptive innovation. That's how you can handle it, how you can create the environment and capabilities together with it. So there is, we already talked about it. How about this picture? What do you see? You see an art or an animal?
I see it as an art.
What about the rest of my colleagues? Are you there on the call, or are you gone for your, I mean, are you there?
We are there, sir.
Yeah, we are here, sir.
Okay.
Taking.
Arti, how much time do I have?
So you have half an hour, 45 minutes.
Half an hour, 45 minutes or more, maybe 15 minutes or so. I'll submit up.
Sir, it's it's all yours. So
Yeah.
as I told, the word is all yours. So how much
Thank
time
you.
you want? So we have,
I'll be
as we are,
more open to have more questions rather
yeah.
than just showing.
Anyways, we are very early, sir, from the schedule. So you have time.
Sure. So thank you. So what do you see? A picture, sorry, an art and an animal.
Two animals,
Sir,
in fact.
What do you make out from the picture?
Sir, it's really, matlab, you keep on and you take how much time you want to have. It's really nice to listen to you.
You are such a good speaker and good orator. I must say that your command on language and on your words is commendable. Continue, sir, please. Take
I'm
your own
still
time.
learning, ma'am.
Sir, there are two giant animals, sir.
Mhm.
One like a sea whale and another one like a giant bear. And both of them are having a conversation about their environment.
So this is just like the shift that we think about the disruptive innovation is have been existing, and what we are just doing as a scholar or what the organizations are just doing is transverting or translating it into so simple language that all can understand it. And when you look at the abstraction, it is which is deliberately or intentionally either invented or adopted to serve a solution. So when somebody asks me that how do I define it, I say that oh, it's deliberate. It's not that something came in. It's deliberate that you want to solve something. It's intentional and it's for a specific purpose. So you want to see what you want to see. Same are the companies. They're deliberate about these disruptive innovations because they have a chance to go different ways. So it's deliberate decision. This is what they are intended to do. This is what their mission talks about. And then they serve for a specific purpose. So if you see the different laws or different opinions in the literature, you'll find that many others. I'm sorry, I'll just say, respond to a phone call that will come back later. Hello. Yeah, good morning, Dr. Walid. I'm good. Dr. Walid, I'm in a session. Can I call you back? Yeah. That is done. Thank you. Good day. Yeah, bye. I'm sorry, I'm in office. So you see here, there are different authors that come up with different views. And when they come with different views, they relate it with different arenas. They say that, okay, when the disruptive innovation came or the concept came, how it was, and over the decades is going to change. Like I said, that we all are digital migrants, but for us it can be digital so it can be disruptive innovation, but think about the upcoming generations. What disruptive innovation what they will call disruptive innovation when they will have everything that we are giving them? What will be disruptive for them? The definition of this disruption will change. Like I said, that our forefathers have fought for having a sustainable life, having a, a life that can feed them bread and butter. If you think about our generations have more thought of standard of living. And if we think about the generations that are a decade younger to us, they do not talk about standard of living. They do not think of owning a house. Like many of us, my colleagues here, the first thing that come to our mind, then when we have a job and some savings, we think that I should have a home, and we invest most of our savings on having a home or constructing a home. Is it going to be a case with our younger generations? No, possibly it is not. And this is what one research by KPMG has also on millennials. They brought in that they do not want to own a house, they do not want to own a car. So what they want to do? They want to work for a job that they like. They want to do the kind of work that they enjoy doing. They want to possibly have a world tour. So when a generation change, the meaning of disruption is also going to change. So there is no static meaning. It is not, and it is going to change when the technology, information, expectations, perceptions, opportunities policies, things are going to change. The meaning of disruption is also going to change. So the meaning is not going to be the same what it is today. Well, I observed that there are more young minds and entrepreneurs that are going to be here in on this call, and to them this is just my small simple plain advice, that take a simple idea but take it seriously. So disruptive innovation is not about having a lot of technology on place. No, it is not. It is also not having have bringing something extraordinary and so revolutionary, and only then you'll be called a disruptive innovator. No, you won't. What you simply need is simply have a passion, think yourself responsible to respond to a solution, bring some hard work to it, and see the different lenses and different ways of responding to the solution. Think differently that how you can reduce the cost, something which is expensively available today, how you can make it available with less cost to someone in the remote areas or in the town areas, how you can make it available more easily with more convenience, how you can think of the resilience. There are a number of stress related factors, or say interruptions in the supplies nowadays, how you bring the resilience into it, and how do you respond to it. You just think a simple idea to respond to a solution problem, and if you think of responding to a problem in a cost effective manner, you are a disruptive innovator. You are bringing the disruption. That's the simple definition that I carry with me. And what you actually need is, you think that how you can tie and connect the world together. And trust me, the information and internet, that is a supreme power to do that. Anything that we create, we can easily communicate. And when we can easily communicate, we can easily capitalize on it. So start small, think small, take a simple idea, but take it seriously. And it will get bigger and bigger in itself. You really need to control it. This is the disruption is actually not only in the product and services, with the organizations too. They grow very, very, very fast. Where an organization take, and we were debating about the competitive advantage, where an organization like Tata or Birla or Embraer took 100 years and 100 plus years to bring that culture on place, to have that advantage for their brand names or their Bob and Lob. But the other organizations have created the same in a decade or so, or maybe less than that. So it's all about you, that what is, how important the problem that you are solving, how important that problem is, how common that problem is. If it is an important problem, if it is a common problem that you're responding on, well, you are going to be one of those. Love what you do. Think of quality, speed, think of measure and control, and have a lot of footbacks, have a lot of trials, and have fun to in what you do. But one thing that you need not to forget is excellence. Bring excellence in what you do. Respond to the solutions. These are certain areas that I identified being an editor, and because see, I do not work on innovation, but I work on strategy side, and I find that, well, you can from the latest research from Christensen, you can actually have some response strategies. There is a lot of struggle going on into the performance trajectories and the metrics, that how you measure the success and failure chances of disruptive innovation. So try to create those. And especially I would like to invite my fellow colleagues that if you are working on strategy and information side, then please think about the metrics, that how we can measure the performance of so-called innovations that are disruptive. Thank you so much. This was some little views from my side on it, and
Thank you, sir.
I welcome your questions and suggestions to me.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful session. Any queries and any questions participants can ask now. Any questions?
It's a matter of appreciation, sir. Thanks. It was a wonderful session. Blasting the mind.
Please, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Sir, thank you so much. It was a
Enjoy the FDP. Keep on learning. Keep on disseminating.
yeah.
And my best wishes
Yeah,
to all the participants.
So thank you, sir. And I ask everyone to give an applaud for the sir. And I suppose, sir, you must have heard the applause. So now I invite Vandana Sharma ma'am to formally give a vote of thanks to sir. Ma'am, please.
Hello, good afternoon to one and all here. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to just utter words, but to live by them. Now, with these words of John F. Kennedy, I would like to thank and I would like to extend my vote of thanks to Professor Sudhir Rana for delivering such a wonderful webinar. And I would say that he has been very wonderful in discussing about the disruptive innovations, where he has talked about the disruptive innovations from a human-driven industry to the information-driven industry, and where he has continuously focused upon the competitive advantage and the disruptive innovations for the bottom of the pyramid. And in the last, I would say that he has also focused upon various areas or the future research on the disruptive innovation. And I would say that this is something which will be giving an added advantage to all the participants here, that how they can move ahead in the field of disruptive innovations. And I again thank you, Professor Sudhir Rana, for sparing your valuable time for this particular session and making this FTP success for all of us. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vandana ma'am. And thank you,
Thank you so
Sudhir.
much, everyone. Good day.
Sudhir,
Bye-bye.
sir.
Bye. Bye.
Okay, bye, sir. Now, participants, the feedback form and the attendance form is available in chat box, and it would be active after 1 hour. Now we'll take, it's active for 1 hour. So you please fill the attendance form and feedback form. Now we'll take a break, a lunch break. So I switch on the cameras for group photo.
Sorry, ma'am, attendance and feedback
Yes.
form both are the same, na?
Yeah, it's
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I've already filled. Thank you.
Sir, please be there.
Sir, please be there for the
Yes,
group
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. Now we'll do a break and we'll meet again at 2:30. Now, because we are running ahead of the time, I feel you have a good time to have a good lunch and then come back for a powerful session again. Thank you so much. We'll meet again at 2:30.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible? Anand sir, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Good afternoon, everyone. I, Ayushi Kalra, on the behalf of entire team of Department of Management Studies, Deen Bandhu Choturam University of Science and Technology, welcome you back to the faculty training program on frugal innovations and social entrepreneurship. I hope all of you have a good meal, as we are still technologically challenged in serving good meals to you during virtual training programs. I wish we could really go back to pre-COVID times and have offline seminars or conferences, and we can actually have networking sessions over good meals or networking sessions over a cup of coffee. But I feel as we have closed our morning session early, so you had enough time to have a quick power nap after your good meal. And now you are back with the same energy as we all were in the morning. Okay, let's not waste much time and not do ado. So I invite Dr. Pankaj Jain sir for the next plenary session, and I am very gladful to introduce him Dr. Pankaj sir, are you with us?
Yes, I'm very much here.
Okay, thank you, sir. So I'll just give a brief introduction of sir, and then, sir, you may begin.
Okay.
Dr. Pankaj Jain sir is an assistant professor at the NIIT University, Neemrana, Rajasthan. He holds PhD degree from CCS University, Meerut. His research areas are service marketing, consumer behavior, brand management. He has taught and teaching several courses such as quantitative techniques, research methodology, and marketing, and many more. Sir has completed 32nd Faculty Development Program, which is a 16-week-long residential program at Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. He holds specialization in marketing and finance. He has coordinated several projects and training programs for several public and private banks. And currently, he is program coordinator for postgraduate diploma in banking and relationship management at Axis Bank. Sir is going to deliver a talk on social entrepreneurship opportunities. Sir, you may begin.
Okay.
Sir, please.
Good afternoon, all. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, audible, very clear.
Okay. Can I need to share my screen. I mean, do I have a sharing rights?
Yes, sir, just
yes, sir, you are.
Okay. So, is the screen visible to everyone?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Visible, sir.
Okay. Great. Thank you. So let's start from the very first beginning question, right? That's who are we and what do we do? So when you are saying who are we, that means I'm talking about as an audience. My understanding is that in this faculty development program, we have researchers, faculty members working in private universities, public universities. Let me know if there is anyone else apart from academia or higher education. So I believe that this is where I'm right. So we are basically faculty members working in private universities or public universities, or maybe PhD scholars, researchers. And when we say what do we do, so my understanding about this job is that there are three important. What I say is the rat race of our life is research, administration, and teaching. Right? These are three things which we keep doing day in, day out. Let me know if you have any other opinion about this. Am I right so far? Are we on the same page?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the second important question is why are we here discussing about social entrepreneurship? That is like, see, we are not going to be social entrepreneurs. I mean, are we entrepreneurs? We are faculty members and we do have our, job that we believe and we continue. So my point is, why this, what is our understanding or what is our expectation with, and why are we discussing about social entrepreneurship and frugal innovation? Anyone can respond. You can write and I would be reading it, and or you can simply, simply speak. That will also be okay. Would someone respond to me? I believe there are 76 participants, and I would, rather than a monologue, if we can have a simple talk and we can discuss, because I rather, I don't see myself as an educator here because I belong to this group. I mean, we both are. I mean, you and me, we are same. So would someone tell me like why are we here and discussing about social entrepreneurship? One thing that I understand, okay, this is FDP, so faculty members need to do certain faculty refreshing programs, certain development programs in order to advance in their career, they benefit them. But think broadly, like apart from doing FDP, why we are discussing about social entrepreneurship? And why are we interested? I mean, your immediate or maybe your research interest or teaching interest may not be related with social entrepreneurship, but still you are here and you are discussing, you are attending this, 7 day, everything.
Sir, it helps
Jayanti,
in
Sudarshan.
self-employment. It helps in self-employment.
Okay. So Jayanti said it helps in self-employment. That's okay. Uh, Jayanti, I believe that you must be employed, right?
Yes, sir.
So my question again is, are we going to be a social entrepreneur? The one objective could be, okay, we are going to be a social entrepreneur. Say in 5 years or 10 years down the line, that could be my one objective. That, okay, I want to learn about social entrepreneurship because I want to explore this phenomena, and maybe one day I see myself as a social entrepreneur. Or there could be some other objectives. To resolve social problem through entrepreneurship. That's okay. Dr. S.M. Sayyed wrote it. Uh, that's fine. That the social entrepreneurship resolve social problems. That's definitely we understand. But are we going to be a social entrepreneur? My first question is. Okay, so let's move forward.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, I believe that educators like us, faculty members, are also a kind of social entrepreneurs because we are also working for a social change.
Yes. Yes. In a sense, yeah, there are many commonalities. Entrepreneurship. I mean, just because we share some characteristic with social entrepreneurs also have doesn't mean that we are social entrepreneurs. But yes, we do have a role, promoting social entrepreneurship and the other things. So that's where my talk would be, targeted to or focus that why this workshop, how this FDP is going to help you, and why it is important to have social entrepreneur to discuss about social entrepreneurship. Now, this is a quote from Raghuram Rajan, third pillar, and he mentioned that, sorry, society suffers when any of the pillar weakens or strengthens over relative to others. So he mentioned about three pillars, as the title says, markets, state, and the community. And it says the market, that is capitalism, is leaving the community behind. So the argument is any society suffers when any of the pillar weakens or strengthens overly relative to the others. Now, if you look at the India condition, we know that capitalist, that's like market, and the government goes in hand, right? And community is leaving behind. And that's why there is some kind of imbalances. And because of these imbalances, public suffer, right? So too weak the market and society become unproductive, too weak a democratic community and society tends towards chronic capitalism, too weak the state and society turns fearful and apathetic. So the whole book is based on three pillars and saying that community has an important role to play. Think about 50 years, those like many of you must have been, heard about from your parents, or that there was a time when community used to have a very important role in our day-to-day life. Think about childbirth. In today, you will see that in villages, community used to, they are the community center, and most of the birth, they need not to go to the hospital, or maybe sometime it's the community which helps, right? Now, today, if you see, go to a big city and check out how many private hospitalization have conducted cesarean. More than 90% childbirth takes place through cesarean, matter. Now, that's where we are, having a kind of disconnect. Today, community doesn't play an important role in my day-to-day life. I want anything, I go to the market, or I want anything which doesn't give, market won't give me, I to the government. My community, I can recall 50 year down, 30 to 40 year back, maybe 30 to 40 year back, even somebody has to make a home, community member would come and help him. Tuitions, community member would help him. So there were a lot of things that community member will do among themselves. And that's why community was having a very good connect. But today, go to any metropolitan city and you will not know who neighbors are, right? So in big societies, communities are getting weakened. And that's what the whole argument is about this book. Now look at, I would like to have a discussion, or maybe, I would like just to give a glimpse of what we know about social progress. Can you see this web page?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, so I write here India because we are Indians and we're interested in our scorecard. So this scorecard is like social progress. They measure different aspect of society progress.
Sir, we are self-sustaining in agriculture, more or less, in agricultural produce.
Your question, would you please repeat it? Okay, what do? I give this link on the chat, and you may try to open it on your browser. My internet is in little slow. I have put down this link in chat box, and I would like you all to click this link, check the Indian scorecard, and pick out some peculiarities that you can find. Maybe let's see if this would help.
Sir, shall I post this link in the chat box?
I have just done that. I posted this link in chat box, so you can click this. Can you see this? Is this visible?
Yes, sir. It's in the chat box.
Okay. Is my screen visible? Can you see this?
Yes, sir. Your screen is also visible.
Okay. So let me make it a little faster for you. So social progress index, there are 163 countries which have been scored, or which have been measured on this. India's rank, it's like your CGP, or maybe your scorecard. Out of 100, our score is 56.80. Now on this, we have different 3 pillars. So we say basic human needs, foundation of well-being, opportunities. Under basic human needs, we have nutrition, basic medical care, water, sanitation, shelter, personal safety. Foundation of well-being, access to basic knowledge, access to information, communication, health and wellness, environment, quality. Opportunity, we do have these things, right? Now these are dimensions. How do we read it? So for example, if I go for undernourished, right? So it's percentage of population. 40% of the population is undernourished, right? So they are not getting nutrition that is required. And my rank is 117 out of 168 countries. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So these are the blue score. Wherever the blue score is, we are doing good. We are doing better than our counterparts. Wherever it is yellow, we are like more or less same, so average performance, and red means like we are not doing good enough. So red areas are on that social front we are not doing good. So look at this. So these are so access to quality education. 0 is equal to unequal, 4 is equal to equal, and India is 4.84 on that parameter, and we are 151 out of 168 countries. Doing very bad, right? Access. Now I give you some, a couple of minutes so that you understand this, and maybe you note or you observe some peculiarities that would make you wonder, that will give you some food for thought, so that you understand your role as an educator in the social progress of India. So I give you 5 minutes. Look out this whole scorecard, and let me know if you observe some peculiarities or that gives you some question, or maybe that make you some that make you curious.
Participants can post their queries in chat box.
I would be reading your chat. In case you have something to say, please write down. So did you observe anything special? Or let me know your opinion on this scorecard. Whatever opinion you have, whatever comments you want to make, the interaction is really required, so that I understand we are on the same page. We have almost 90 participants, so I would expect some responses. Okay, let me give you a hint, and maybe that would help you. Find out on which dimension our rank is, something which surprises us. Or maybe, the best rank that we have scored on whatever dimension it is. Pick up the best rank that we have got on this scorecard out of 168 countries. 163, sorry. The best rank that we have got on one dimension on this scorecard? Okay, that's a access to advanced education. Ombe Yadav wrote, right? Access to advanced education, that's great. So when we say access to advanced education, you see our rank is 84. And among this, if we pick up the one more dimension, that is quality weighted universities, these are 7. I mean, above us only there are 6 countries who have as good university as India has. Does it surprise you? So if you talk about number of universities quality wise, right? India holds 7th rank in the world. Would you be interested to know who are the most 6 and how do we score 7th? Because when it comes to universities, our general idea is like, okay, India might not be doing as good as well. We don't have those many universities, but this is a third party score and we haven't done, this is not like government can manipulate it. If government could have manipulated it, our ranks would have not been these like 100, 130, 150, 165, so and so on. So like coming back to our presentation, one thing we understand that as far as universities are concerned, we are actually at very good position in the world. India is at very good position in the world. Okay, now why I'm talking about universities. When former Sir Daniel Mohan was serving as ambassador to India in the early 1970s, he was asked what Bombay or New Mumbai needed to do become a great global city, and Mohan answered, create a great university and wait for 200 years. I do believe in this thought process. Universities have a very good impact on social and economic progress of any country. Pick up a small family, pick up a family and think about this family. If this family invests in health and education, 2 things, the family is going to prosper. Today, if any poor family come out and need to come out from the poverty, two things are weapon: their health and their education. And same goes for cities, same goes for countries. Now coming back to this, when we say that university has a very powerful role in order to improve the social and economic progress of any city or any country or any state, we'll come back to this. But before this, I just wanted to give you this, what I have researched to that. US is number 1 and the point is 1072, and China is number 2 and their scores are 521. India is on 220 and they are on rank 7. Other than this, US, China, Japan, UK, Germany, France. These are 6 countries which are ahead of us when it comes to quality of universities. We are not just talking about quantity. Now the important part is, when I'm saying this and we have discussed, the important part is that when universities have an important role to play in the economic and the social progress of any country, and we really have a very good position, but still our social progress is somewhere not really be what we can be proud of, or it's not very remarkable. If you look at the rank on different dimensions, we really cannot be very, we cannot be proud of that. But yes, of course, on this dimension, quality weighted universities, India rank is 7, and we can be really proud of. We can take a very, pride in this. Now here, this give me, it makes me curious. It makes me curious about what role universities are going to play and what role we as an educators are going to play in the economic and social progress of our country. And definitely it also plays a call for action on educators and universities. And that's why this workshop and this FDP makes a lot of sense. I must be very thankful and I must congratulate Deenbandhu Choturam University for taking this initiative, because universities really need to come up with a thought that they have a larger role to play in the social and economic progress of India. And as an educators, we need to get engaged. We need to get involved in this. So either if I teach, say, like I may teach English, I may teach math, I may teach management, marketing, finance. But the point is, if this theme, the social entrepreneurship and frugal innovation, a very thoughtfully picked up theme, if we are not talking about this, if we are not discussing about this, then we may not get involved. You may have different professions. You may be pursuing PhD maybe in science. You may be pursuing PhD maybe in language, or you may be pursuing PhD in management, marketing, commerce. But the point is, all of your field have to, or maybe they can be linked to social progress. Now, before we move further, what we'd like to know is what are the benefits and limitation of the employment that we are currently engaged in. Why it is important to know? Because we all worry, we do get worried about our finances, the financial life for us, and we really need to know that okay, we cannot leave our job and to start doing this NGO or doing service or maybe may go for volunteering, because we have to earn and we have to survive. But in that prospect, we really need to understand, okay, what are the benefits and limitation of the employment that is whatever. So it's important to know the maximum that it can give me and the minimum that I need to have, right? So for that, I would give you a small Excel sheet. I would share this, but let me share this Excel sheet with you so that I just try to build up a phenomena, or maybe it's like a scenario which will help you to understand where you are going or where it would be in next 25 years of life if we don't get involved into what we call social entrepreneurship. So we're just talking about a financial aspect of our employment. Let me share this with you. Okay, is this visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, so let's pick up any person. So I will be sharing this sheet with you and I'll tell you how this will work. So let's suppose there's a person called X and X is 33 years old, right? So X is an educator, he's working in a university or private or government, or he's pursuing PhD, so whatever domain you see. And let's suppose on 1 July 2021, X has certain money. So his bank account is, let's say, 50,000. He has some gold, he's married, and he have gold, let's say 5 lakh rupees. Property, he may inherit some property, or let's say we skip it, he's putting on rent. He has invested some money into shares, some money into mutual funds. There are some FIPs, some PPF is being deducted. So I'm putting, you can put this on, and there are some FDs in his name. All in all, he has 12,50,000 rupees as his worth, right? And let's say after getting his salary and meeting his expenses, his savings are 5 lakh rupees. I'm just assuming, right? And assume that his saving will continue to grow at a 7%. You may change this by, say, you can say 6%, and you can write down as 8%, depending upon when you use this for yourself. And investment growth rate, so depending upon how do you invest, how aggressively you invest in stock market, FDs or something, let's say you can say, okay, I can grow my investment by 10%. Somebody would say, I'm a little conservative, I don't want to take some risk, so I would have 7%. So it depends. Is it clear so far? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyway, there's a confusion, please let me know. Now I'm telling you this. So this 50 lakh, this 5 lakh rupees is here. And when we say, 5 lakh rupees yearly saving is here, this is his today's worth, right? 12,50,000 rupees. So after withdrawals, we will put down withdrawals here, because every year he has to withdraw some money. Maybe some important, there's someone who's writing into chat maybe. Okay. So, and there would be some interest. So I'm saying if he doesn't withdraw anything, he say 5 lakh rupees, his money after 2021 would be 13,75,000, right? And let's suppose he's planning some car in 2025, this guy buys a 10 lakh or maybe a 15 lakh rupees car. His investment would be somewhere here, right? And maybe in, you know, after 2032, depending upon his life, he may invest 10 lakh rupees in kids education. And if he has 2 kids, he has to continue this, or maybe somewhere around here, he may have to invest 20 lakh because both kids would be going into higher education. So you can change this money. And maybe after this, again, he wants to buy a car because the 10 years old car he is not going to drive. And then if I'm saying this is, and then, you know, gift, when I'm saying gift, it could be marriage, or it could be, you know, when the kids are grown, you want to give them something and you have given them, let's say, 50 lakh rupees, and second kid 250 lakh rupees. Why I'm telling you this? Because it will give you some idea that by the time you retire, how much money would you have? If you continue to grow your saving by 8% and your investment by 10%, so this person who is at, let's say, 35 years old, he would have somewhere around 5.5 crore rupees. Does it make sense to you? Any questions so far? Anything on this sheet? I don't get any response. Will you please let me know if whatever is going in your mind? No. So this is okay. Can I go further? Okay. So why I'm telling you this? I'm telling you this because it gives you 2 things. One, the maximum that your job can give to you. And it's important to know because you're going to spend next 25 or 30 years in your job. And if you know, okay, after doing this day in, day out, this is what I would end up. And minimum, this is what the minimum it would be. So once you know the limitation, your job is important. My job is important. I'm not going to quit my job and venture into social entrepreneurship just like this. So I have to have a plan, or I need to understand how can I get involved. And I need to understand what my current employment can do as far as finance are concerned. Now, the second question to us is very, you know, what does success mean to us? That why I'm asking this question, because successful mean different thing to different people, right? And once we know, okay, this is what 25 or 30 or 35 years going to be, and how do I look at my success? I would have a nice bungalow, a 3 BHK, maybe a 4 BHK. By 2030, I would have a nice car, and this would be. So I know somehow, you know, if life goes on properly, right? Now, this is a Japanese concept, ikigai, and some of you must have heard about it. Sounded really high. And I know that, okay, if I need to get involved into social entrepreneurship along with my job, and I need to find a way where I can contribute to society, I can improve the social and economic progress, and I can also find what I call passion or vocation. So what I love and what I'm good at, that gives me my, you know, passion. What I'm good at and what I can be paid for, that gives me my profession. What I can be paid for and what the world needs, and that's where we're talking about social progress, vocation, and what the world needs and what do I love, it become my mission. So in the center, it become, you know, if you are working in this zone, some of you may be, but I believe that it's not easy to hit this zone. Sometimes our jobs because we need to do, right? We write some papers because we have to write, we have to progress. It's not that we really are interested into that zone. We take some classes, we teach some people. I tell you, you know, I was working in private university, and I was once wondering, who do I teach? I mean, what part of India do I cater to? And it just happened to me that I found that I'm just catering to the top 0.5%, not even 1% of Indians. So almost 99% of Indians who may need my services, I'm not giving anything of it. And that's where I start doing social work and thinking about, okay, there are people who cannot afford a METI, who cannot afford an IIT, and I'll not be available to them because they can simply not come to me. I need to reach to them. But I'm talking about what the world needs. So Ikigai is, which gives you, a sense of purpose, because once you have a bungalow, a 3 BHK, you have a nice car, your life is going, your job is secure, you start to wonder like what the life means. And if we may call it, in academic term, we call it a midlife crisis, when you start seeking the purpose of life. So what may not like you, it may get boring. Sometimes you feel going at work, sometimes you don't, and you do it for the paycheck because you know you have to stop for this. If you don't do this, the finances will not hold it up, and that's why you continue. But during this, and that's why this workshop, this FDP make a lot of sense, because you may try to find out what you love, and while doing your job, how could you contribute? So what is it for me? I mean, why should I get involved as a social entrepreneurship? I'm not going to quit my job. I don't want to be, social. So my idea could be, okay, I donate something, or maybe I would do some kind of volunteering, and that's all I can do when it comes to social enterprise. But no, you can do a lot more thing, and you can impact a lot, because you are in a powerful position, and you are directly attached to what we call the, where we stand seventh in the world, universities. One, it would connect to my life purpose. So whatever purpose I would find, and it's important to find a life purpose. What keeps me going? Because once I know, okay, my job is secure, I know sufficient, I keep going. My check would keep coming to my bank balance, and other than this, what exactly makes me happy? It would keep me motivated. Once I get involved in social entrepreneurship, it would bring me lasting happiness, because I know I have I had made an impact, and it would help me to help others discover their life purposes. It's important. Let me know if there's any comment, or there's any question so far.
Students can ask questions in chat box. If there are any queries, you can post it in the chat box. So you can continue.
Okay.
There are no questions.
Okay. So how can we get involved as social entrepreneurs? Because we are teachers. You are teacher, I'm teacher, you're a faculty member, I'm also a faculty member. You have your PhD, or you might be doing your PhD, or you may have planned to do your PhD. I have already done. I'm teaching. Now the point is, how do we start? I'm not going to quit my job. So we can get involved as a teacher in social entrepreneurship. I'm talking about. We can get involved as a researcher. We can get involved as volunteer. Will be the last one. We can get involved as social entrepreneur, but this will be the last, and maybe the biggest, biggest leap. If we could be in a position where we think, okay, we can make more than what my current job is doing as a social entrepreneur. So if you hit that zone, of course, I mean, that's where the journey would begin. But till then, what can we do? Now, as a teacher, these are some pointers, and in case you have some more opinion or some more points, please let me know. I mean, I'm not saying this is exhaustively. You may have your own opinions, and that may benefit to everyone here. So first thing is integrate social entrepreneurship in your curriculum. Whatever you are teaching, I'm pretty sure if you Google your subject plus social entrepreneurship, you will find opportunities. Talk about social entrepreneurship in your curriculum. I've been reading about social entrepreneurship, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 3rd grade, graduate, higher education, all field can be connected to this one common theme, entrepreneurship. connects student to powerful role models. So these powerful role models could be people working in NGOs, chancellors, registrars, those who have working in governments, or maybe those who have some power, because once you connect a student, those who have energy and time, with someone who is sitting in a power position, things can start moving up. And I'll tell you, things move. And encourage them to see beyond
Professor Pankaj. Pankaj sir. Professor Pankaj Jain, sir, you are not audible. Sir, you are not audible.
Okay, am I audible now?
Sir, you are audible, but your voice is cracking. You can get one thing if you are. Yes. आप sir अपना camera जो है, you can switch off your camera.
Okay.
Then maybe
now,
your Wi-Fi bandwidth will be good.
Now, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay. So I was talking about that how can we get involved? One is, of course, integrate social entrepreneurship in the curriculum, and then connect a student to powerful role model. The third point that I said, that encourage them to see beyond placement. Take them to the different parts of the society, maybe in slums, or sometime maybe on the rural side, or what we call the countryside. Audible but not visible. So I have to shut down my camera. I mean, I have to close my camera, but to get more bandwidth.
Sir, your
Am I
screen
audible?
is, yes, sir, you are audible. Your screen is also visible, sir.
Yes, sir, screen is
Thank
visible.
you. Okay, expose them to different social worlds within India. When I'm saying expose them to different social worlds, I would also say that, as a faculty, sometimes because we get confined to the boundary walls of the university, we need to get out and meet different people, right? So whatever community you are working in, go meet them and look in their social world, so that okay, what kind of social world they are living in, and you understand. And maybe your assignments, your projects can be related to it. Encourage them for social entrepreneurship programs. Nasim Munji is offering social entrepreneurship program. Tata Institute of Social Science is offering MA into social entrepreneurship. You as a program, if you are in a position, university leadership position, MA, MBA in social entrepreneurship programs can be offered. This is where university need to come up and talk about social entrepreneurship. And but after graduation, many people say, okay, you go into MBA in marketing, MBA in finance. I would say one area also is there that would be called social entrepreneurship. Design, develop and deliver UG and PG courses in social entrepreneurship. So maybe you can offer social entrepreneurship as a part of your MBA curriculum. Develop a course, talk about this, make your students little sensitized about it, and that's where you'll be contributing as a teacher. Encourage them for prestigious social entrepreneurship competition. I would give you a mail. Share a PDF with you where you can talk about, you can find a lot of social entrepreneurship competitions, and these competitions are really good work. And if you encourage your students to be, to participate in those competitions, that's what other teacher you can always do. And maybe sometime you can also be part of your team, part of the team which is going to participate in those competitions. Encourage the student to go for internship in social enterprises. There are, I mean, this is just one link. Let me click if it works up. So when we look for internships, university, Pratham is, every child in school and learning well, and if we talk about get involved, there would be internship opportunities, which your student can, of course, explore, right? So that much can easily be done. As a teacher, you can, of course, guide them to do this. Is my slide visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
And create a student for career in social entrepreneurship. Teach for India. That's one organization where students can look forward to career opportunities. So these are the career currently hiring. They want city operation, Ahmedabad city. So these are the jobs which are out there, and students can find if they are hiring fresh graduates, and they could be, employed in these kind of organizations. Of course, payment would be little less, but the impact would be little high. And I tell you, working in those fields help you to find good jobs with multinationals, because when you go to US and UK for further education, working for society definitely enriches your resume. So right after graduation, if somebody spent 2 years, a couple of years saying working for a society, that definitely improves his chances of getting selected in, universities abroad, and that may, he may also get some kind of scholarships which would help him to, fund his education. How can we get involved as a researchers? Of course, that's easy because we can make our academic contribution. We can write research papers, we can write down case studies, articles, and we can find out opportunities with respect to. Please send this both link in chat. I would share PPT. I would share PPT and Excel file both, and so that you can take, you can make use of it. Dr. Vijay Gupta, ITS Ghaziabad. I will be sharing this. Supervision of research work. You, as a faculty, you all are involved into UG and PG dissertations, teaching them, uh, guide them to pick up right kind of projects, right? So you may ask them to go to the nearest community, nearest village, look at the social opportunities, look at their world, look at their problems, and do a research. Rather than most, I see, this is my observation that most of the students, what do? They pick up a simple questionnaire, do some marketing stuff, and get this questionnaire and complete their dissertations. It really doesn't solve much thing. But if you sensitize them, they may go in the field. They may talk to some couple of farmers. They may talk to a couple of Manrega workers, and they would be sensitive enough to the social world which is outside of their social world. And then a good research may start. Participating in conference. So all in all, what I want to say that when we publish or when we write papers, we bother about impact factor. We don't bother about social impact. So if rather than impact factor, we also, impact factor is important. That's bread and butter. Or maybe one would say that that's a currency that works in universities, particularly when if you have to, advance your career. But social impact is also very important. Let me know if there's any question. Okay, there are some comments in the chat box. Okay, thank you, Dr. Asid Sayed. Right.
Can you put some highlight on the social impacts?
So when I'm saying social impact, right? So when I'm talking about social impact of your research, for example, I can write a research paper in the ivory tower of my academic world where I'm not going to meet somebody, right? But when I'm saying social impact, please understand when you're going and meeting people, right? And you are learning about their world, conducting a research involving that research paper involves, this research paper gets involved. So think about other teacher, students, the university authorities, government, it may be, the sarpanch of that village, or it may be the DM. Anybody can get involved. So the point is the social impact of your research would have a linkage to the society problem, and that's why I'm talking about social impact. Even if you in the initial year you will find that okay, you can't do much about whatever is out there. The point is once the student understand, once you understand, gradually the stakeholders will start joining in, right? And once these stakeholders, who are these stakeholders? These stakeholders are one, NGOs, two, government, third, social enterprises, And then, majorly when we talk about these are three big stakeholders, and once the universities start playing a role of what we call as integrators, maybe all of them come and something new would happen, right? So when I'm talking about social impact, think about I'm not saying that okay, you're going to change something. Please understand, my social impact would mean if you make a difference in the life of one person, if you make a difference in the life of 2, 3, 4, 5 people, and that's where it would begin.
Got
Is
it,
there
sir.
any? Okay.
Got it, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon, sir. Myself, Dr. Vijay Gupta. I'm from ITS College, Mohan Nagar, Ghaziabad.
Yes, sir.
Basically, I want one question.
Yeah. Please go ahead, sir.
Sir, I want to know what is the process to increase the social impact. Basically, हम लोग research paper लिखते हैं तो we used to do use citation, तो उसमें तो impact मिलता है हमें, but social impact को बढ़ाने के लिए हमें क्या करना चाहिए?
Sir, see, when I say that, how do we measure? I mean, so far I don't have any index which we say that this is how we're going to measure social impact. But I tell you one thing. One of my student, he way back in Amity when he was working, I gave him a project, and he started going in the nearby villages, and then he started thinking about those those kids who are not able to afford a good education, right? And let me tell you, this guy gradually started with they came up and they start saying, okay, we will donate ₹1 each and 2 hours per week, 2 hours per week, and students start joining this group. Today Prayas, that group became a good, it's not like kind of NGO, but they are doing good work. Let me show you that how we can measure the social impact or what could be the tangible aspects of social world.
Pankaj Jain, sir, you are not audible.
Yeah, wait, just wait.
Okay, sir. Sorry, sir. And participants can raise their hands or post their queries in the chat box.
Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yes, sir.
Now, Prayas Corps is started from Amity University, Jaipur. Jaspal Godara started it. He was an alumni, and I was working there, right? I spent 9.5 years in Amity University. And Prayas Ki Pathshala, the idea is, okay, every student would come and teach them math. Generally, the students are from 1st class to 5th class, and there are many schools that starts happening. And today, there will be more than thousands, what do you call, chapters, which are there in Rajasthan, UP, and different part of the world. So now I'm not saying that this is part of research, but I'm saying that once you give them an opportunity to move out from their social world to do some kind of projects, they may come up with new initiatives. And of course, it's not a social enterprise, but it's work as an NGO. And today one can be a volunteer and one can do, so you can raise funds. That thing that they are doing. And you can Google about Jaspal Godara. He's a good guy. He's doing a wonderful thing. And as far as job is concerned, if you say, now what does he earn? No, he doesn't earn much. What does he do? He is totally employed into this. Totally, what do you call it? He got his kind of a life purpose where he's doing what he likes. So I'm talking about that Ikigai, where he is. So he's not measuring his success in terms of money. But let me tell you what, when we say impact, he organizes annual function for slum kids. And there were DMs, SP, DSP of the city. They all were sitting there, almost 100 students from slum, they participated in that annual function. That's the kind of connect that I'm saying. So we don't measure his success from the, he has been invited to I'm Trichy for a talk, for a TED talk.
So
So
can
when
we
we say
also
so,
increase the social impact of our literature also?
let me know your views. I haven't thought about it, but that makes sense. So social impact of literature review, uh, how that is going to happen?
Means our research or research paper. I'm asking in sense of our research paper, published research paper. Can you
See,
also
when
increase
we
the social impact of our research paper?
I would say, if you think in terms of that, okay, this is my paper, okay, this has certain impact factor, this has certain citation, but what does it contribute to social, social progress? That is where it matters. And that is where this disability is, targeted at and focused at. It makes you think about the role of university, and within that, when I'm saying role of university, you are part of university, I'm part of university, the role of university in the economic and social progress of India.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So now, how can we get involved as a volunteer? Of course, we can contribute time and skills. So when we say we can contribute time and skill, this is one example. In Ashoka, you can find opportunities. Join the Ashoka support network. Get in touch. Become an executive in residence. Of course, that would be difficult, but you can definitely volunteer, right? View opportunities on LinkedIn. You can find opportunities on LinkedIn rather than worldwide. You can do worldwide, or if you want to do just India-based projects. Voluntary marketing and communication executive to help smallholder farmers in India, virtual and on-site in New Delhi, Bhubaneswar with Equity. So Equity is their initiative. Now I'm saying that, okay, once you get engaged, you volunteer. Please let me tell you that it not only enriches your resume, but it also enriches your experiences. Once your experiences are, they are enriched, you yourself may find some opportunities, some ideas may click, and it could be what you call the eureka moment for your social entrepreneurship journey. So this is one way. Another is Teach for India, which I found really exciting. Is this visible to all of you?
Your screen is
Yes,
visible.
yes, sir, it's visible.
Yes, sir.
Teach for India. So all of us are teacher, and that is minimum that we can do. We can apply now. Applications are closed on July 15. Our first volunteer batch would start July 19. What they're asking if you can work on Saturday and Sundays, 2 hours per day. That means in a week, if you can donate 4 hours teaching online. So when we say apply now, there would be a little form, and you can, English and math. These are two things. Volunteer with Teach for India, and teaching online to slum kids. You can fill out your information, and Windows is still open. I put down this in your chat box so that anybody who is interested, they can find it out and enroll here. This is Teach for India. Otherwise, you can Google, and of course, you can you can fill this form. This is another opportunity. So when I'm saying social entrepreneurship, opportunities for social entrepreneurship for educators, doesn't mean that I'm saying that you leave your job and you go for social enterprise, you join NGO. No, while doing this, there are a lot of things that you can do, and maybe at some point of your life, you will find an eureka moment and a social entrepreneurship project may start or may begin. Website not visible, only PPT. Okay. Uh, Is this visible now?
Yes, sir. Is it visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, Teach for India is like you can volunteer for on weekends, Saturday, Sunday, 2 hours per day online. So what they are asking is basically 4 hours, and if you can donate more than this, so this is a 4-hour week commitment for 12 weeks. So all in all, you got to spend 48 hours teaching online to poor students. When I'm saying poor, that means they cannot afford your services. Literacy or mathematics. These are two subjects, that is English or mathematics. If you can easily teach them, first class to fifth class, eighth, or maybe whatever class that you feel comfortable. And this window is open to 5th of July. You can fill this form today, and maybe in case you have your heart in right place, that means you want to teach to those, and maybe weekly you want to spend 2 hours for the social progress. That can be done. That's the minimum. That's when saying okay. And once you do that kind of projects, the what do you call the your experience starts broadening. It start expanding. You start to see a different world, which is very different from that the world that we live in. Similarly, we can donate. It's like for donate. This is another link. Donor Nanikali, they teach girls, because if you see the social card, the access to the education to female or to women is or to girls are not as good as it should be. We can run fundraising drives for a cause, or we can become a digital champion. That means if we love to spend time on social media and we want to promote certain social campaign, we can be a digital champion. There are organizations who want those digital champions for their organizations. And then these are some thoughts how we can become a social entrepreneur. My thoughts are like, once we start having working experience beyond classroom, we start connecting with the community that we are part of. So we all are working somewhere. I generally, from the last 10 years, I've been working on the rural side. I'm at University Rajasthan, where I spent almost 9.5 years. It's on a 45 kilometer on the rural side, and there are a lot of villages are attached. And I used to, generally roam around, go there and see how the, and connect with those communities. Sometimes I take them to, Jaipur tour. There were kids who have never seen Jaipur, though it was just 45 kilometer. So I collaborate with my university, get a bus from the university, and then, take them to the Jaipur, show them something. The point is, then there's another way we can say, we can try different profession as freelancers. Now, these are two opportunities that you can work. When we say try different professions as freelancers, why it is important, even if it is not directly related with social entrepreneurship, but it is related with your entrepreneurship mindset. Can you create something? Can you do something? Can you create a product and market it in online world? So I'm saying this is another organization where, so instead teachers pay teachers. Now what does it do? They create worksheets, plans. Now, if you look at explore distance learning resources, this is for $24.95, $13.5. You can create these worksheets on your own and put your wonderful plans out there, sell them. Right? Once you start getting money, once you start, this is another way of. So now you look at, they are free under $5, $5 to $10 on sale, and they are different subjects. Can you see this screen?
Yes, sir.
So we have arts and music, English, foreign language, holiday, math, science. Now, apart from your research paper, this is another avenue where you can find, you can do something, you can create something which may have its market value, right? Because once you start generating resources, and you would have confidence that in a market you can create some product which would sell, and that would help you to for your entrepreneurship journey whenever it happens. Similarly, I hope some of you must have heard about Upwork. Those who have not must, they can visit to it. They can see Upwork is another organization. I mean, another platform where you can work as a freelancer. So when we say find talent, whatever talent you have, you could be a researcher, you could write reports, and there are different words that you can write down, right? Post a job. So let's suppose you are good into finance and accounting, so or maybe admin and customer support, right? So you can simply create your profile here, tell the world about what you are good at, and maybe some job will come to you, right? If you're a designer, or maybe once you start putting your students on these platforms, so they are data entry specialists, project managers, so and so on are there, customer service representatives. So Upwork is another good site which is good for freelancing. Think about teacher student entrepreneurship projects, another important part. That is, if your students are interested in social entrepreneurship projects, you can collaborate, because you may have your own job, but an entrepreneurship project, that is like you may be part of consultancy. You may have them organizing some of the things. For example, it could be university resources, or you may connect them with people who are in powerful position, because you may be knowing people in companies, people in government organizations. Once you hit the sweet spot of Ikigai and you know, okay, this is where your project is working, maybe one day you can take a leap of faith and you can start your journey as a advocate of social entrepreneurs. I was Googling about, how many teachers have made it. There are pretty good examples where teachers have really done very good, right? They left their job and they get into the social entrepreneurship. I will now ask map your heartbeat. When we say social entrepreneurship, we say follow our passion, but I think there's another way, that whatever break our heart, whatever thing that we are not good, when we see things and we say, okay, no, this break our heart, that could be one. I would share the PPT on this, and then you can get all the links. So when we say map your heartbeat, it's a small activity. If you have pen and pencil, please, paper and pencil or paper and pen, please use it. What you have to do, on the left hand side of your heart, make a heart shape, and on the left side of heart, draw right things that you are passionate about, using this question to guide your thinking. So because this will help you that, okay, on what part of social entrepreneurship you would like to work. So these are some questions which will give you some idea, okay, this is where you can start, right? Because why are you happiest? Why? So think about your happy moment. Think about when you lost the track of the time, what was happening, what you were doing, exactly what you were doing. So in social, in psychology, we call it a concept of flow. Concept of flow says that you are in a state of flow where you don't track the time and you're doing and you're happy just because you are doing it. Who do you love? Who do you admire? Why? What is most fun you have ever had? What is your favorite memory? What passion or activity is most important to you? What possessions or activity brings you the greatest joy? What secrets are in your heart? All of this will help you to find out what you really love or what you really care. And once you do that, once you have identified your love for something, then on the right hand side, write down what breaks your heart. For example, if you love cooking, you can write down about that, okay, when I see poor people, when I see hungry people, it breaks my heart, right? And I feel that I cook and provide them meal. When you see people who are struggling because of they cannot speak little English, they cannot introduce themselves, you see, okay, if only I could have taught them. So who are specific people that need your help? And when I'm saying specific people, let me tell you, I'm not talking about community. I'm just talking about one student who you think you can help. As a leader, let me tell you, my experience is your first follower who follow you is as important as you yourself as a leader, because that follower makes you a leader, right? And if you, I'm sure when you were growing up, you would have experiences. There would be people who you would remember because they made some impact in your life. I can attribute my success or whatever, wherever I am, to certain people who come to me, who help me, who show me, right way. Now, this is where, when we talk about specific people, could be a student group, could be a community, could be related with the, maybe the, gardeners, could be related with the fourth class labor working in universities, anyone. What are the everyday things that they do? To what ends? What are the biggest pain points that are the root cause of their problems, unmet needs, desires, the processes, tools, or activity they have to do? All in all, you need to understand their world, talk to them, listen to their problem, listen to their issues, and maybe then, if you think, okay, this is a problem, and let's try to solve this problem. Take that problem to class and ask a student to ponder over it and see if they can find out something we call a jugaad, because India is a country of jugaad, right? And there would be, I'm pretty sure, once you take a real life problem to class, ask student to solve it, it can't be a better, there cannot be a better lesson. I'll show you one small clip where, it's not like the big solution come from big minds, or anybody can come up with solution. Uh, Let me see if, uh,
Sir, video is not audible. Sir, am I audible to you? Pankaj sir, are you with us? Pankaj sir, are you with us? Manisha ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes, Ayushi, you are audible.
Okay, ma'am.
Professor Pankaj, you are not audible.
Professor Pankaj sir, you are not audible.
Hello.
I just had a talk with Professor Pankaj. So he is fixing the issue of sound. So within few seconds, he will join back.
Okay, thank you, sir. So participants, hold on for a few moments. Professor will be back. There are some technical issues. He'll resolve this and will be back soon.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
And this video, can you hear this video?
No, this video is not, like I can see the video, but it's not audible.
Okay, so I hope the participants have seen this video.
Sir, can you please replay this video?
Okay, let me tell you the small story basically. This was about an African village where the lions were killing the livestock, right? And a small kid, he was trying to find out the solution. But what the villagers were doing, they were killing the lions, and 6 or 7 lions were killed. But there was no solution to this, because sometimes lions will kill the cows, and sometimes the villagers will kill the lion. Now this kid, he placed some lights on the cow shed, and these lights were blinking. So he was trying to trick the lion that somebody is wake up and somebody is moving with the lights, and that solved the problem. Now the idea is that when we talk about, am I still not audible?
Sir, you are audible.
Okay, so when the idea is that a small problem which many people were not able to solve, a kid solved it, and that's why he got into, he was invited on a TED talk. So when we talk about social entrepreneurship, what really matters is the student go to the village. You as your, as teacher, you may also go to the village. I will audible, but screen not visible. I'm not sharing anything as of now. I would be sharing these links with you, and you can really, later on check it.
Okay, sir.
So this was the last slide that I had, and in case, so let me know if you have any question. Last 5 minutes is up there, and I would like to address. if there's any question, I would share
If
this.
if you have any queries, you can post it in the chat box. Participants, you can post your queries in chat box.
Yeah, usually participants are unmuted, so they can directly ask the questions.
So participants are unmuted. They can ask the questions directly from the sir.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Myself, Dr. Pankaj Kumar. Sir, my question is that
Yes,
can you enlighten that what are the various opportunities for a company or for a business organization to make such an activities which are strengthen their business through social entrepreneurship? Like in your first slide, social progress index, GDP PP per capita. So participants were not much more interested to give to reply, but you have shown that in this index, social progress index, there is a nutrition and basic medical care, water, sanitation, shelters, personal safety, health and wellness. These are the various activities. So it is my opinion that through the investment in these activities, a company can maximize the wealth of their businesses. Suppose in this Corona time, there are a lot of companies in the social activities, social entrepreneurship. We can say that Byju's, they have expanded.
Pankaji, see, the point is what companies are supposed to do and what they can do. If you are in a consultation to the companies, we can of course suggest them. But my focus is how we can engage ourselves, right?
There is a lot of disturbance.
Yeah, there is a
There's a lot of
disturbance.
Yes, sir.
Participants, please mute yourself. When you have to ask question, then only you unmute yourself.
You may be the question can be typed into this. Sir, can we link social entrepreneurship CSR for execute support? See, there are a lot of questions. There are a lot of things that we can, One thing is, okay, what companies, as I told you, there are already three stakeholders are already working on this. One is companies, social organization, the business houses. So we call them corporates. The another is state governments. Governments are actively participating into it. Third is NGOs. So these three are already are very much active on this what we call social entrepreneurship. My call for action is, or what do you say? My focus of this talk is, as a university, we all have to be part of the social entrepreneurship and social progress. So as a university, what we can do? See, one way is, okay, the universities can, the business can do this, the NGOs can do this, the government can do this. But what we can do is that is where that it matters. So can we link social entrepreneurship to CSR? Of course, social entrepreneurship is related to CSR and execute support. The point is, how do we do it? I mean, as a teacher, as a professor, how do I incorporate CSR? That means corporate social responsibility. Either I am in touch with some executives who can mobilize their CSR funds for some of the projects that I want to push forward. I hope I made myself clear on this. So you are right. Those who are saying that, of course, the corporates can, they can attach there. So they are doing their job. I mean, they are doing what they can do. For example, at the university organizing this workshop, having a talk on social entrepreneurship, talking about the role of universities in economic and social progress of India. This is one thing that we say, okay, a solid action has been taken. 100 plus faculty members, researchers have gathered, and now we are talking about social entrepreneurship and how can we get involved. A right thing, an action that is required. So this is all from my side.
Thank you, sir.
I would like to end my thank you.
Thank you so much for an amazing topic, sir, and your amazing thoughts. I hope our participants had great insights from this session. Now I invite Dr. Pankaj Kumar, sir, to formally thanks to Professor Pankaj Jain, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir, to be the part of this faculty training program and enlighten us on this very important topic because this is very prevalent nowadays and it will be more beneficial in future also. And you have discussed on quality of universities and through one Excel slide, you have given us a very good information regarding financial planning also, like there are the various modes of savings, PF or bank deposits. So that was a very good example of financial planning. Then you enlighten us that how we involve in social entrepreneurship. And there were some very good examples related to social entrepreneurship and CSR also. Fine. And it is very, that interesting talk from your side. And we all are very thankful to you to give a very valuable time, your valuable time for this teacher training program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Pankaj, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pankaj.
Thank you, Rana, sir, and my congratulations for organizing this wonderful faculty development program on such a great topic. And I'm pretty sure that like many universities need to come forward, and Chaudhary Choturam University have really taken a very good step, and this is what the time requires, that university have to play a larger role in the economic and social progress. Many congratulations, sir, and my best wishes for this FDP.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Pankaj,
Thank you,
for this very excellent and very informative session. Let the situation improve. We will call you in the department one day. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pankaj.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Participants, please switch on your video photograph.
Participants, please switch on your video for the group photograph.
Okay, sir. You also. Dr. Pankaj Jain, you also, sir. Pankaj Kumar, sir, aap bhi.
All participants, including the speaker as well. Dr. Pankaj Jain as well.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I am here.
Dr. Pankaj Jain also.
Yes, sir. He is also here.
Yes, sir. Pankaj Jain and Pankaj.
Because I am not able to see him.
Both are here, sir.
Okay. Oh, intentionally you have chosen Dr. Pankaj to thank Dr. Pankaj. Good one.
Yes, sir. Pankaj, bye, Pankaj.
Manisha ma'am was saying Professor Pankaj. By that time I stopped this, he called me.
No, sir, you are becoming the professor in within some few months.
Yes, sir. It will take time.
Okay.
The link for
Thank you, everyone. You can switch your video.
The link for attendance and feedback is in the chat box. It would be active for 1 hour. You can check for the link for attendance and feedback in the chat box. It would be active for 1 hour. So I hope you all had informative sessions today. You had good insights from the 2 sessions and you were motivated by the chief guests and our convener in the inaugural sessions. And I hope you also enjoyed the Saraswati Vandana by Professor Anand sir. So it was a good day. I know we are doing it virtually. We are not able to do it in offline mode, but I hope you all had the same fun which we used to have in the offline mode. We would be back tomorrow for the amazing sessions. We have a lot in the coming 5 days. So signing off for today, and we'll be back tomorrow.
Ayushi, wait a minute.
Yes,
Participants, please note that your attendance will be 80%. Below 80%, we will not consider for the certificate. So be ready in every session and attend all the sessions. Thank you.
And I would want to add here, not just for the attendance. You will get some information as today Professor Pankaj sir has told us about many platforms where you can look for the research articles or you can look for the job opportunities, internship opportunities. So it would be very insightful for you if you will sit and listen to the sessions. So just not just for the attendance, for getting informed or for getting learned, you come and attend the sessions. So thank you so much for being an amazing audience today. We would be back tomorrow. So signing off for today. Good evening. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Ayushi?